The 4th of August 2024, and today's match, we've got a big game coming up your way. This is GWS Giants taking on the Hawthorn Hawks, playing that game at Manuka Oval in Canberra. Both teams needing a win. Of course, you look at the ladder there, and the Giants here are sitting in 8th position with just 4 rounds to go. Hawthorn in 9th. Hawthorn need that win to stay in touch with the top 8, heading to finals time. So this is a big match for both teams. It's like a mini final. Of course, if Hawthorn lose, it could be season over for them. And of course, if the Giants win, they should secure a top 8 position and run home to the finals in around about 4 weeks' time. So that's why this game is so big today for both teams. And it should be a great game. Both teams in hot form as they come into this week. And just straighten that up a bit. We'll have a look at the ins and outs for both teams in just a moment. Let's try and get that a little straight for you. Just correcting that there for you folks. All right, let's have a little bit of a look at the teams. And it for the Giants, Gruisky is the in there. Marge TV, mega love shout out. How you going? How you going? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Just covering a couple of games of the footy today. It's coming up close to finals time, so I should get a few people in here listening. Blessed Sunday to you too. Yeah, good morning. I tell you what, it's nice here in Melbourne. It's 12 degrees, the sun is shining, but they are playing this up at Manuka Oval in, I think this is actually in Canberra, which is the capital of Australia where they're playing this. So there you go. Thanks for the second like, Margie. How you going? How's your weekend going? Hopefully everything's been well with you. Appreciate you coming in. Fantastic. All right, so the Giants, Gruisky is the one who's coming in and Riccardi is out. And their backline goes like this. Himmelberg, Taylor, Idon is the backs. The halfbacks are Whitfield, that's Lockie Whitfield, Buckley, Perryman. The centres are Ward, Green, O'Halloran. The half forwards, Daniels, Cadman, Thomas. Their full forwards, Jones, Jesse Hogan, who's been in fine form of late. He's been kicking them really good. And Toby Green also been fantastic so far. The followers are Briggs, Callaghan, Bedford. The interchange, McCullen, Gruitsky beating Ash, Fonte. And the emergencies are Stone, Kiefer and Angwin. There we go. For the Hawks, we've got a big inclusion here. Big in there is Jack Gunston. It'll be a great inclusion, I should say, for the Hawks. And Magnesis is omitted there for the Hawks. Hardwick, Sam Frost, and Impey are the backs there for the Hawks. Scrimshaw, Sicily, the man down the back there, Sicily, who holds them all together. He's the warden down there, and of course Josh Ward alongside him. Amon for the centre, Newcomb and Moore there for the half forwards. Bruce Day, Warple. Of course, the forwards there for the Hawks, McDonald, Chol, Ginnivan. I'm sure there'll be plenty of action down there, and we'll see Ginnivan celebrate a few goals if he does get some. The followers are Meek, Nash, Jyth. Interchange, Watson, Wordle, Gunston, D'Ambrosio, Deer. The emergencies are Morrison, McKenzie, and Sarong. There we go. That is the team lineups for this game today. And of course, we have 3 minutes to go before the bounce of the ball for the opening of the first quarter. And just as we head back there to have a quick glance at that ladder again, as we can see, this is a big game for both teams. The Giants there sitting on 8th, the Hawks sitting on 9th. The Giants 1 game ahead of the Hawks with 4 rounds to go, including today. So 3 more after this week. That's why this is like a little final for these two teams today. Viva Footy, how you going? Hawks are actually winning easy. You know what? I'm tipping the Hawks today. I am tipping the Hawks. Addy G is in the house. How you going, Squire? And of course, Addy G, he's tipping the Hawks. The question for you, Addy G, did you cash out or did you let your parlay, your multi-bet roll? Did you let them roll? This could be a good game if you actually kept your multi alive. See what happens after this game. Although that being said, the other game will run into this, won't it? The Essendon Fremantle game will run into this. Good luck. I hope you get your other 3 ones rolling. But this is definitely like a little final for these two teams. As I said, if the Giants win, that will secure them a place in the top 8 and a finals berth. And Hawthorn need to win this game to stay alive, a little bit like the Magpies on 44. But we're only a minute and 50 seconds away from the bounce. Players still in, warming up. They'll be out on the ground in just a moment. And of course, it looks like a nice day there at Manuka Oval. Are you going to play it live? Ames Z, unfortunately we can't show the vision live. It's copyright issues there, and of course if you do show it, then YT they shut the stream down, so that's why we can't show the vision. You cashed out last night, still on 1 set. Good stuff. Addy G in the money. He's in the money. Show us the money. Addy G, good stuff. So I'll say that cheers, Pies, for winning the money. That's it. I tell you what, you're going to be forever grateful that the Magpies won last night. Santa, all good stuff. You know, it would have been interesting to see if the Hawks win, even Freo win and Brisbane win, what would your multi have paid then? What would have been the maximum you could have got if the 3 teams today win and your all-up multi would have got up? That would have been huge. You know, I'm still thinking Hawthorn for this game. I'm still thinking Freo. I'm still thinking Brisbane will be the 3 teams that will take the win today to close out the end of this round 21 here. All right, folks, that's enough of me talking. I'm going to take you down to the ground where the players are taking their position and the umpire is about to bounce the ball. Let me try and reload this. The odds for today, 188 were the Giants and 192 for the Hawks, so they couldn't quite find who was going to be favourite. There we go. That's the vision we want. All right, folks, I'll take it back down to the game. Been over 1,000. Oh, geez, I tell you what, I would have let that roll. But let's see how you go, Eddie. Let's see how you go. Here we go. Down for the opening bounce.
The prime defender, but Riccardi's not there today, so we'll see if Cadman can do the same. Here we go, Hogan trying to walk out into the forward pocket, so trying to force the issue with the Hawks. But here we go, 2 of the form teams of the last month in the competition. And in the case of the Hawks, one of the form teams of the back half of the season, doing battle in Canberra. Meek wins with the first tap. Down to Nash, straight today. Constricted, in fact, that's not a handball. Peatling, who's a tackling machine, and laid a huge tackle when it mattered most last week in their thrilling hold-on to win against the D's.
Had a great game, didn't he? Yes. Peatling last week. He was significant in that victory over the D's at the G.
Off to Iden, and then plays it safe to Ash. Had a calf issue in the mid part of the season, did Ash, but been back 5 the last 6 weeks. Whitfield also in prolific form. Here's the deep penetration, and Hogan, well, we asked who's on him. No one was on him there.
It's disappointing from a Hawks defensive perspective to start this game. They had numbers back. It was a slow entry from Whitfield. But that's ultimately been an uncontested mark straight in front, 15 metres out.
17 goals in the last 4 weeks. Reminiscent of his start to the season when he kicked 16 in the first 4 rounds.
That movement, like when you're not confident, you tend to stand under the ball, but he's moving very well.
Despite appearances, he's kicking in a fluent fashion as well and converting.
Well, if Jesse's approach is not how, it's how many, and it continues to be 6. A fantastic start. We'd love to see that from different angle, just to get a perspective, as Lynchy just touched on, about the amount of movement to the bottom of the screen. So it's Briggs that's coming in. So Scrimshaw's just trying to play off him. And ultimately they just get confused between Meek coming back and Scrimshaw. No body contact at all. And allowing a free jump of the footy from the full forward.
When you got that match-up on a in-form full forward and you essentially hand over, that's highly risky. So the stutter kick, which he tinkers with every week in the warm-up. It's great to see. He's very confident with it, obviously.
He's up to 54 goals for the season. Charlie Curnow goalless last night on 56. So he could pass Charlie this afternoon.
We'll have a look inside this stoppage with Toby Bedford, who's going to go to Will Day. I think that's a great decision, given how good Will Day's season's been since he returned.
Great smother by Ginnivan, and then the handball just bunted down by Tom Green. And another stoppage.
And at times, they can be dominated in the middle of the ground, and they are very reliant on their conversion in the forward half, scoring those goals from inside 50s, but they've got off to a good start through the midfield.
Meek to Nash, but again going nowhere. So Bedford didn't go to anyone in the first half last week against the D's, and then at halftime they made the switch and he went to Rivers, tried to shut him down. Here's a chance, they go again. Jones, it'll land right in the goal square. Cadman got his hand to it. And Frost, the former Giant, sees it over.
So they've done it again. They've effected the switch they need. They wanted. Scrimshaw is playing on Hogan, essentially. And Frost is on Cadman.
It's very unusual that as a forward you're able to manipulate your matchup or your preferred matchup. Defenders often just get to pick who they want to play on, but I love it that they're challenging that.
And they've done it the last 4 or 5 weeks. Whitfield caught in the crush there. Game being played in one half of the ground at the moment. Hogan that time was up against Frost. He still won it this time. Crumbed it and kicked it at goal.
We just saw there a real comparison from an experienced full forward in Jesse Hogan, just easing his opponent under the ball, whereas 30 seconds prior, Cadman didn't. Like, a lot of the work you do in these one-on-one marking contests is before the ball gets there. Cadman just didn't do that work to remove his opponent so he could take an easy mark.
Sicily, it's knocked down. Ash, getting plenty of the ball early. Tom Green, skies it, and Hogan! Strong in the air, one-on-one contest, little bit of separation on Frost. He has dialed in for this one today, Nick Del Santo.
Well, it's their fourth inside 50, and it's the third time that Jesse Hogan's been involved. So whatever that plan was coming in from a Hawks defensive perspective clearly isn't working.
So he's kicked 4 or more in the last 4 games. The last player to do that was Tom Lynch in 2022, and before that, Tom Hawkins in 2017. So he's in rare air.
Good numbers.
In the last month. This is for 2 in the first 5 minutes.
Just moved on the breeze. At the baby fade.
He did well to get off Frost. I mean, Frost is a good athlete, so if he's back shoulder, without a push, he shouldn't get away from him, but he's obviously, the build-up is very good.
Hawks have barely had hands on the footy so far. And Ginnivan was trying to work a free kick out of that, but very well handled, very careful and effective tackling by McMullen. He'll toss it up deep to full forward. Hogan at the back of all that. Halloran buzzing around. Ambrosio off to Nash. Disrupted kick. Watson. Pulled away by McMullen to Green again. Hawks defence absolutely working overtime at the moment. And Scrimshaw. Dangerous kick, and Ward cuts across. It is 250th game for the Giants and does the team thing as he has through each and every one of those games, both for the Giants and before that for the Bulldogs.
Speaking about the disposal count, they've just had the 11 disposals for the Hawks. All have been in their defensive half.
Meek and Briggs in the front position. Meek tries to juggle it. Loose ball, Scrimshaw pounces. D'Ambrosio, Sicily. Diath loops the handball over the top. Needs to sit for Impey, and it does. Doesn't quite break the tackle. Diath, Impey. Good hustle by the Giants, and it was brilliant by Daniels, and now they can maybe torch them on the turnover. McMullen, Perryman in the Hogan area, but Meek's back there. couldn't quite take it. Toby doesn't need much time and space. O'Halloran camped at the drop. Surrounded by Hawks, though. Hardwick. Rockets out there, a bouncing ball. Callaghan mops up and they'll reset and go again. Whitfield is just going to dab that one into the green area, and Toby will not take an easier mark than that this afternoon.
And no real wind to speak of here. You'd think he'd get the journey, but this is a huge start for the Giants. I mean, inside 58 to zip. They're not a forward half team. I mean, Hawthorn tend to dominate that stat against their opponents, but they've got to convert their opportunities here. They're dominant. They've only got the one goal so far.
Been the Toby of old for the last month. Couple against the Blues at the MCG last week, and again, like Hogan, just hangs it out to the right.
Well, it's been a great start from the Giants, allowing themselves to have field position. They've had 8 tackles. The Hawks yet to lay 1. And a complete domination of field position. That's a lovely kick out to the far side.
This might change things. Impey with a clear path ahead. Along the wing, through half forward. They should score, and they should score a goal. More decision time, and he was uncertain about whether to have the shot or pass, but he didn't panic, and he finds Gunston.
It's often the issue when the game is played at one end. You've got 36 players set up at one end of the ground for 5 minutes. That's an aggressive kick out into space. Beautifully done. We saw Collingwood do a similar thing last night and score.
Hasn't played since round 17. He lost to Geelong when he was subbed off. They kicked 3 against the Giants last time, and the Hawks have a move forward, and most importantly, they have a goal. I was going to say, Dal, I called last night's game between Port and Sydney, which I'm still getting over, to be honest. It was shades of that. It was just complete domination, but this is what Sydney couldn't do. They couldn't get any counter.
Yeah, and we speak about a front half game, and Lynchy's hit the nail on the head. It's having all the plays in one half of the ground, so it's so hard to move the ball freely. Carl Amon out of full back, takes his couple of metres to get his balance and just launches to centre wing. The first chance to get some space and some clear air. Thought his way through that eventually more. Thought he had every opportunity to go himself and took the more conservative approach and found Jack Gunston.
And we just see there, Jack Gunston is tagging Sam Taylor. So Sam Taylor's trying to get the matchup he wants, but Gunston's going with him the whole way.
So Cadman's into the ruck. No Riccardi, out with a finger injury, had surgery this week and will miss up to a month of footy. The Hawks looking to go forward again. McDonald's in great form. Ginnivan wheels around. D'Ambrosio on his preferred left, and it was pinpoint. Landing on the chest of the birthday boy, Dylan Moore, celebrating his 25th birthday today. Carl Shadir, also a birthday boy, 19.
Just further to that, Lynchy, he has done that a few times this year, hasn't he, Jack Gunston? Did it against Harris Andrews and against Sam Taylor last time, so maybe that's one reason he's back in the team.
Absolutely.
And he gets his wish granted. Dylan Moore on the board.
Oh, it's a great response from the Hawks. So just the 2 inside 50s for the 2 goals. As we just touched on, the field dominance from the Giants. They've controlled the ball. They've had the 8 inside 50s, but weren't able to capitalise on the scoreboard. And then they've been just opened up twice now. It's a lovely kick inside forward 50 for Dylan Moore. Gave one off just moments earlier, and then he gets one on the way back.
You're right, Hutto. And last time he was on Sam Taylor, Gunston, he kicked 3 goals in that game against Harris Andrews. He was also able to hit the scoreboard. And that's why if you've got a player that's prepared to do that negating role, that's so dangerous in front of goals, it's a great weapon to have.
Chol having a run in the ruck immediately. Sometimes he takes a centre bounce and Nash takes over from there, so I'll keep an eye on that. Ginnivan kept it in. Himmelberg, Ward, who's made his way back into the team over the last month. Ginnivan to Warple, back to his strength in. Jones, though. Ash, tied up against the line. Warple, never creative. Moore just bats it forward. Jones had to really dig deep, and look at the pace. Came to the fore. He got the clearing kick. Important ball to be won. Hardwick did the winning initially. Kept it away from Toby Green. Gave it to Scrimshaw. Hawks going wide. Was it too wide? No, Moore is awarded the mark. and running around, eyeing off the goal square, or maybe the pocket. He tucked it in. And there we go with Joel in the centre bounce and then pushing forward and taking the mark.
He's involved in everything at the moment, Dylan Moore.
What a player he is.
Oh, I was going to say he's underrated, but you'd love to think by now everybody in the AFL world rates him so highly. He's been doing this for years. Feints to go out to the right, which is the corridor side, just tucks it back boundary. Joel on the same page.
Well, this man is also being recognised, isn't he, now by the wider football world? What an acquisition he's been. This is for his 30th goal of the season. And after the Giants dominated the opening 8 minutes, it's been all Hawthorn since. 3 goals in a flash, Lynchy.
Absolutely, and as you said, Mario Chol has been recognised this year. No doubt his work rate in the forward half, or when he's in the midfield, like he started in the ruck on this occasion, has picked up his defensive efforts and his ability to find space. And this is a beautiful pass, but set up also by Chol going back towards the goal square. He's on Sam Taylor. Taylor turns his head here and has all that space to run into. Beautifully set up, and importantly, he's converted his opportunities. So it's 3 scoring shots to Hawthorn, 5 to the Giants. Yet the Hawks lead by 8 points.
This is the stuff we were talking about at the other end in the goal square. It's happening, Lynchy, as you mentioned there, with Chol and Taylor and the defensive work that Gunston is trying to put on. So that's some merry-go-rounds all over the place, trying to get their wheel out of the middle. Newcomb, it's a powerful kick, and there's Buckley knocking it away. So much momentum with Watson. And Cal, you wanted to mention something about the footwear.
Well, I'm not really a fashionista, but I did notice Nick Watson. He doesn't mind the attention, does he, Hutto?
Look at that.
1 blue boot and 1 pink boot.
All in pink last week.
He's not shy, is he, Kel?
No, he's not. And Mon Conti did that in the AFLW, where she did it so her parents could pinpoint who she was out there, the coloured boots. Have you ever done it,
I was going to say, you can also spot Mon Conti. She's got the football most of the time.
Well, that's true.
Free kick plucked out of there. I don't think anyone has any trouble spotting Nick Watson, by the way, at the moment. It's Meek who's going to line up for goal, and the Hawks an opportunity to kick 4 in a row in no time at all. So already Chol and Gunston kicking individual goals as the big guys up forward. Moore with one as well, and now Meek. Teases that left post, stays the wrong side.
So there'll be a clear ruck domination or control when the second ruckman for the Giants is in there, who's Cadman today with Riccardi out. So he's just going to have to try and avoid body contact and use his athleticism to run and jump.
It's a big mismatch, isn't it?
Lloyd will be the opposite, just trying to manhandle the lighter frame.
Whitfield goes looking for Jesse, sets himself. Hogan a long way from home, Cadman set upon.
I think Jesse's felt that he's had to go up because the Giants, one of their real strengths when they're up and going is that ability to move the ball from back half into their forward 50. They haven't been able to do it today as yet.
Meek dominating in the air, and then Newcomb trying to finish it off. Sends it long, bouncing ball. Ward, Himmelberg, Brave. Quickly to Iden, to Taylor, to Peatling under the pump. Hawks have really lifted the tempo after it was all the Giants to start.
It's great forward pressure. Might have got away with it. Over the shoulder, umpire blindsided being corridor.
Meek again. Tom Green, Ward, fumble, stolen by Watson, and does he win the free kick? He does.
You can hear the Giant supporters there with you, Nick. I think they might have got away with one, the Hawks, just prior.
So Nick Watson loves the limelight, loves the attention.
Loves getting a free kick too.
And not a deep pocket, this one, so you can see a lot of space between the goalposts from this angle.
That's 14 frees, 4 and 5 against for the season for Watson.
With a pink boot and a blue boot. Doesn't matter what colour they are, can he kick them? He's offline to start. He misses everything, in fact.
Thought he might have changed his boots earlier in the year when he was missing his goal. Now he's actually started to convert. Maybe he should have kept with what he had. Giants do try and ease it out, but that is, speaking of out, that's about the 12th row.
That's great pressure, though. That's what you want from your forwards. If the ball's going to be rebounded out, at least make it under pressure.
Scrimshaw in the sunshine in Canberra. Play on is the call. Set up to the square. No one could really elevate, so it's just reach up and grab it, and Buckley prevails in those circumstances.
Stand. Play on.
Himmelberg. Iden. Goes down the line where they've got the numbers. This is Grzeski.
Just got to be patient here now. Yeah, got to go short. The zone was set up behind the ball from Hawthorn.
Comes into the side, the one inclusion for Riccardi. Peatling concedes some ground back to Buckley.
This is the first time him and Cadman have played together, isn't it? So he's going to test them, as we said, with that inexperience.
Goes for a stroll. Couple of bounces. And then that not out of bounds on the full. Though Jath thought it was. Good crowd in here this afternoon, Manuka Oval. The first time they've had 3 sellouts for their 3 games in Canberra. They've got the 35,000 members.
They've had 5 home game sellouts for the season. 2 at NG Stadium as well.
Whitfield. Can he set something up? He goes wide. And Hardwick and Green, it'll be a fascinating matchup. Hardwick spoils it over.
Bit of a concern already from the Giants from a stoppage perspective. 8-1 is those clearance numbers. So Cadman remains in the ruck while Briggs is having a rest. If those numbers tell a story, it's that Briggs can't be off the ground for too long.
It's going to be absolutely pivotal. Meek with the grab, but can't get away because of Peatling's double his efforts there. Amer's kick, as a result, goes straight to Whitfield. He's chipping, he's hoping, and he gets his wishes. Jones with a juggler. Well, who else is going to support Toby Green and Jesse Hogan up forward? Has to be some of their youth, perhaps.
Darcy, that's your line.
Seven goals, 3 in 8 games. Darcy Jones. Big 21 in the 2022 draft. Sends this touched. And through for a behind it goes.
Got far too close to it. Wasn't confident he was going to get the distance and too close to the man on the mark.
Eamon shorts it to Hardwick.
Need to find a bit of composure in that area where they're clearly number 1 in the competition for ability to convert their goals.
Flicks it to the skipper in Sicily. 2-on-2 on the wing. Ginnivan tried to be clever. Doesn't quite stay in for Impey.
Well, it was a good call by Buckley to come forward. Had to impact that play. Left his opponent behind the footy. Young Harvey Thomas. Went to school with Grzeski last year. Caulfield Grammar boys.
So Briggs is back on, into the ruck. He's given it straight to the opposition. Warple, Newcomb, little give and go. And then he centres it. Ginnivan. Short, risky. Set up for an anxious moment there for McDonald. To Weddle. Inside 50, backing back bravely was Watson. Wheeling around here is Gunston. Awkward bounce for Taylor. Chol crushes the pack. Peatling goes without it, but Ward's able to mop up and flick it wide. Now,
it's going to be an interesting one, Cal.
That's got to be deliberate.
Oh, yes. It went at right angles. Some massive concerns for the Giants here. They've lost the last 10 clearances, been dominated by the young Hawks in the midfield.
So Warple's eyes are darting. Saw Watson miss from a similar position. This one's a little bit further out. He's going to give it a crack and a little skinny in the end.
So Will Dace is having a rest, his first of the day. He's getting tagged by Toby Bedford today. Will Day yet to touch the football as their most dominant midfielder.
Oh, Ash. Got to hurry on there. He needed it. Whitfield. So they used their hands initially to try and launch out of defence. Ash in a rush. Tough bounce for O'Halloran and a kick 4 in that game against the Hawks earlier in the season. Nash goes back to Frost. Now they go forward. And deep too. Ginnivan waiting at the front. The ball at the back with Iden. Whitfield confronted by Joel. And Iden happy to submit to the Watson tackle. Clearance is 9-1.
Over the last 4 weeks, clearest differential to the Giants. They're ranked 17 in the AFL.
Missing a couple of important components of that, of course. In the absence of Cornelio and Kelly. D'Ambrosio feeding it back to Impey. D'Ambrosio again. Playing it out wide this time. And Jaff able to take them up.
Made his debut on this ground. A snow game going back about 4 years ago. Giath just pops it up, asks them to run and jump. Meek was underneath it. Taylor cops a big bump. And they pile on him.
I remember that game, Cal. It was a Friday night.
Yes.
And I walked home in the snow. It was shocking.
Yeah,
Didn't do an Alistair Clarkson and take his shirt off,
That's
did
right.
you?
He took his top off in the day before in the captain's run and said it's not cold. Did a lap.
Two-ruck Briggs taken down in a fierce tackle.
Dale, you're probably sitting in a nice warm box at the time. I was on boundary side that snow night. It was freezing.
Meek and Briggs. Little hack kick out of there. Watson. Oh, he's taken by O'Halloran. And he wins the free.
He's a very difficult man to tackle.
Is that because of his height or because of his technique?
A combination of both.
It's a bit of both. It really
absolutely.
is. And his strength as well.
It's become a skill to draw that free kick in the right way.
And you combine that with, that was poor execution though from O'Halloran.
So he puts it on the right, and this time he's missed. A little skinny on this side.
Now, we touched on early in the game how the Giants had the first 8 inside 50s. I'm pretty sure it was. The last 9 have gone to the Hawks. This game has lived right of screen.
Is there a way out this time? Ash. Underneath it, D'Ambrosio. Buckley challenged in the air. Hawks look to win it back through Newcomb. Ward over the top. Ginnivan piles in. And another ball up, and still they can't get past the wing.
And this defensive press or zone that Hawthorn have set up, they good pressure on the ball, and it's just stopping the precise passing of the Giants to get out.
Watson's gone back to the goal square. Nash had a lot of trouble disposing of it. That's the dedication of Peatling and his tackling prowess.
He's had to bide his time, Peatling. He's been in and out of the team. He's been sub multiple times. But I just thought his performance last week hopefully gives him a little bit of a boost to continue in that form.
28 disposals and 11 tackles, along with 8 clearances. Wet night at the MCG. Buckley, at least beyond the logo. Can they get any further? And sees it safely out. And still, it's a 10-point lead to the Hawks.
First goal to the Giants, Jesse Hogan. Hawks have hit back with the last 3. In fact, they kicked those 3 in just 4 minutes of play. Tick under 4 to go before quarter time. Jones trickles it out of there. Toby Green just flicks it. Clever, but he couldn't get it to a player. Teammate, Eamon, squeezes it down the line. Riggs thought he had it, and the flash out of nowhere came the wizard. Watson shorts it back to Eamon. And here's their short, sharp kicking game. Happy to take some seconds off the clock as we count down to the first break at Manuka Oval in Canberra. Sicily. Dropping it under pressure was Eamon. They might be able to pounce here, the Giants, but it'll come back. It'll a free kick to the Hawks. Going to Eamon.
Now Whittle up the ante. D'Ambrosio, little cornered, so forces the handball. Gets a bit awkward for the Hawks. McDonald, after a standoff, Impey to Whittle. Adventurous into the 50. Takes a pot shot. No wonder they're clapping.
That's a
The Hawks have taken their show on the road over the last fortnight. And from the Adelaide Oval and now to Manuka in Canberra. And after conceding the first, they've kicked 4 in a row. And Will, who has been restrained somewhat this year from those dashes out of defence, has got forward and kicked his 6th goal of the season.
That's a great finish after the handball that he was involved with earlier in that chain. Looked like it was his first ever handball, but he finished with some class at the other end. That's a great finish, and their ability or their want to run out of defensive 50 just makes it really tough for the Giants to defend. That spread from contest or switch of the ball is extremely good.
The hair's starting to resemble Derm pre-colour day.
Pre-perm. Absolutely pre-perm.
That just slipped.
Yeah, no. Accidentally on purpose there, Hutto. Spot on.
Meek. Little toe poke. Doing it in the air and at ground level. Walpole fires it out. D'Ambrosio. Day. Just in time. Walpole. Bounce. Clears a couple of Giants. Deer. Back to McDonald under pressure. And the push as he got the kick.
Well,
and it went out of bounds on the full.
Domination of the clearance game, Cal, has been so significant. Getting it in their front half and then just restricting this Giants ball movement. It's going to be under pressure again.
Giants have been good starters this year, despite last week being 5-1 down against the Demons. Fine effort from McMullen. Tucks the kick into the inside. On the bounce, it was awkward enough for Tom Green. Quick change of mind. It was a good call to Jones. Minute 20 on the clock. A very important thrust forward. And it's Brent Daniels who'll have the shot for goal.
All their recent shots have been from this sort of range. They're not getting deep into the forward 50 where they did early. And this will be, again, well within his range, but a tough shot.
It's his first disposal. 18 goals, 11 for the season. He's averaged 17 a game. He's a very important player for them, but unfortunately, their rare ventures forward since that flurry at the start have only produced behinds. And there's another one.
Well, their last couple of weeks, maybe 4 games, has been so accurate in front of goal. We heard Adam Kingsley speak about that before the game. So low inside 50s, but highly efficient. They've had the 12 inside 50s for the 1 goal 6. So the opposite today.
And you always wonder how long can you live on that?
It's not sustainable.
7 scoring shots apiece, but the margin is 15 points. And they go forward again. Dunstan couldn't control it. He's surrounded by Giants. Peatling. Hamble, clever smother in there from Moore. Spills the way of Walpole to Nash. Spears that out wide. Foot races on. Peatling gets there first. Callahan. And then Nash. Make sure it goes over. Signed a 5-year contract extension during the week.
Such a unique player, Connor Nash. 198 centimetres. Can be the ruck inside mid, so he's got the matchup with Tom Green. So physically he's able to hold his own.
That second ruck position is really important, isn't it, in the modern game, Del, too?
Well, we're seeing a little bit of that already with Cadman. Hutto, so when Cadman goes in, I know that it would usually be Riccardi.
Yes, again. So that's...
You've got Connor Nash able to fill that void.
Well, that opening quarter reflecting the season a bit, didn't it? With one team dominating for a period and then the other coming storming back. And the other is Hawthorn. They kicked the last 4 of the first quarter and they have a 15-point lead at the opening break. They're on the edge of the 8. And it's hard to see that it's slowing or stopping anytime soon.
All right, there we go. There we go. That's quarter time here at Manuka Oval, where it's the Hawks leading 4-3-27 to the Giants 1-6-12. The Hawks by 15. All right, so when this game first started, folks, when the game first started, it felt like for the first few minutes of the game, it was like the kids versus the adults, where the Hawks looked a little bit intimidated for the first maybe 6 or 7 minutes of this game, and the Giants were doing as they please. But as I said to Eddie G, just wait until the Hawks unleash their power, and that's certainly what happened. They turned that back around. The Hawks were in full control of 2/3 of the last quarter in the first quarter. They looked good. They got their running game. They got their connection flowing well. And then the Giants, well, they had a little bit of trouble getting it into their forward line. 1 goal, 6. They missed a couple of easy goals, but that's okay. For the Hawks, for sure, 4-3. They're doing good. Watson's having a great game. A few players there on fire. Let's just have a look at the stats. Let's see who's the ball magnet so far in this game. Surprisingly enough, it's a couple there from the Giants. Lockie Whitfield and Lockie Ash, both with 12 disposals there. I suppose they got a lot of those disposals early on when they were dominating the first 6 or 7 minutes of the game. But that soon turned around. Carlamon with 9 for the Hawks. Warple 8. Ambrosio with 7. Scrimshaw was 6. Jai Newcomb was 6. Darcy Jones there was 6. All sharing the ball around. Well, Jack Ginnivan, he's just playing his normal role today. He hasn't done anything out of the ordinary. Nothing for his celebrations to put the crowd to sleep or anything like that. Still looking forward to that. James Sicily holding the back line up there well with 5. Just keep rolling down there. Where's our little gun? Nicky Watson, there he is. I tell you what, this Nick Watson for Hawthorn, he's got speed to burn. Tell you what, he's fast for a little fella, this guy. He's had, I think he had 1 or 2 shots on goal just for the one behind. 3 kicks he's had, 1 mark, a couple of tackles and the clearances, so he's doing well. Callum Ward, need a bit more lift out of him for the Giants, just the 3 disposals. Jack Gunston, a little bit quiet so far. When the Hawks get some good run into their forward and they got their when they get that link up from the defensive 50, they find they have a bit of space in their forward 50. But when they had time back, the Giants get back into defence and the Hawks bomb it in a little bit as well. That being said, Chol's been looking reasonably good. He's crushed the packs. He's kicked a nice goal. He's had 2 disposals just for the 2 kicks with the goal, but still looking pretty sharp up there. All right, there are the stats for your players after the first quarter. Let's have a look at the goal scorers. Let's have a look at the goal scorers. And the leading goal scorers there at the moment, it is Josh Weddle. Oh, everyone's kicked singles. Josh Weddle, Dylan Moore, Jack Gunston, and Chol for the Hawks. And for the Giants, Jesse Hogan. Jesse Hogan had a shot on goal from pretty much directly in front, but it faded to the left. He's kicked 1 goal 2. So with his little bit of a stutter in his run-up, he needs to get that kicking straight like he normally does. He's a pretty good kick and in line for the common medal. Lockie Whitfield leads the way with the AFL fantasy points on 48. Lockie Ash 43. Peatling on 36. And I'm on next best for the Hawks on 31. All right, so we're not too far away. Let's have a look, scroll back up and see how quick. We're about a minute away from the bounce of the second quarter. Let's just have a look at the disposals. As I said, where the start of the game, where the Giants had all the ball and all the play, the Hawks certainly turned that around, showed their class and their dominance and their skill. Ended up taking that out, 17 disposals ahead. Kicks, pretty much the same. The handballs, they're getting the nice link-ups, the handballs. So they're 15 up there. Inside 50s, not too bad. 12 to 14, both getting chances when they go inside. The Giants, inside 50, 12 times for their 7 scoring shots. Hawthorn also 7 scoring shots for 14 inside 50s. Their disposal efficiency pretty well for both teams, 73% around that. And their 50 inside efficiency, not too bad for both teams. Hawks doing really well there at 64%. Free kicks, 4 to 5. Umpires are nice and quiet on the whistle. Nothing much happening going on there. The hitouts, Hawks leading that. The clearances, well on top. The Hawks in the clearances. They are dominating. And the centre clearances, 5 to zip the Hawks' way. Wowee, that's strong. They need to find a way to change that up a little bit, the Giants. They wanted to have first crack at the ball out of the centre bounces for sure. There's the contested possessions. Turnovers, Hawks a little bit more. That was just due to that pressure early on. The Giants in front on the marks by 8. Marks inside 55 to 3. Those Hogan getting them and missing those shots. Anyway, let's roll this back up. We'll put it back to the scoreboard. And let's head back down to the ground for the second quarter, where it's the Hawks leading the Giants by 15 points.
The ball moving into the forward half. The Hawthorn defence just couldn't contain him. But they've been able to do it with lack of supply.
Sam Taylor's just had the one disposal, Hutto, so that role that you mentioned with Jack Gunston, that's working.
Yeah, both ends of the ground, the push and the shove and the spin around continues to try and get the matchups they desire. Second quarter, let's see if anything changes. Bit of a skew bounce to start with. Briggs did well, but Newcomb does better. Out of the middle, probing wide ball. Here they come in a rush. Iden played it on its merits. Gunston trailing in, and Iden job done.
It wouldn't be what Adam Kingsley wanted to see. The first clearance out of the centre.
No.
Unpressured out the front.
After your ruckman has first play on it as well. Briggs from the front, but Meek over the top. You can see Warple on the move, but run into some resistance. Perriman, the handball follow-up from Green. Daniels trying to get into the action. Just the one disposal on the opening turn. Scrimshaw to aim, and the hands were quick. Stayed ahead of the game. Get it into the pocket. Stand off there. Perriman grabbed it. Knew he had to release. Roughly towards the ruckman. It's difficult to capture the footy. Nash, time for a little glance. Look what he saw. The man who's been kicking goals for fun in the last fortnight, Connor McDonald.
Well, they've got to work through some issues right now, and it's involving Sam Taylor, which we rarely ever say. Some rate him, including myself, probably the best defender in the competition, but that merry-go-round that you've mentioned multiple times, Hutto, it's only working for one team. Look, you've got Himmelberg and Taylor 5 metres off.
Connor McDonald, 2 goals last week, 4 the week before, and now he has 1 for the Hawks this afternoon. And the lead stretches to 21 points.
Playing some good football, this young man, Connor McDonald. So you have a look at bottom of screen. So here's the initial contest in the forward pocket for the Hawks. So it's a ball that's up for dispute, but then you look at the top of the goal square. So it's Taylor and Chol. And just as they move out of frame, it's Himmelberg and Taylor on Chol, as McDonald just has an uncontested mark.
That's a great kick to a dangerous spot. And obviously, well rehearsed, as McDonald knew where it was going, rather than just having a pot shot. Hit 20 metres out in the corridor.
Can they win it out of the centre here? The ruck wrestle. Thumped by Newcomb. Little toe poke. Oh, that was clever. Nash, McDonald, Newcomb, Ward. On the left, into the pocket. Was there a shove there? Gunston thought there was. He looks at the umpire. Instead it'll be a Giants free kick. What can they manufacture from the last line? Hasn't been going their way. The last 5 majors to Hawthorn.
Well, that's a win for the Giants. Just to get the ball 50 metres down the line, create another stoppage. Not that they're dominating that aspect of the game either, but just try to move the game out of their back half for a minute.
Form up again. Meek. All red. By Bedford now, Tom Green. There's some open country inside the 50.
Very much old school, just yardage at the moment.
Yeah.
Get the clearance, hack it forward, stay wide so you're not getting hurt back through the corridor the other way.
Shevsky trying to do the job back there to open up Hogan and get his preferred opponent. Meek into the back pocket to Eamon. And now Newcomb looked up and Toby Green. He did follow through a little bit, Toby. And fair to say, copped some more of that back the other way. And the umpire said, you two sort it out. I'm going to throw him back into play.
Jarman Impey's just getting his ankle re-strapped. Heard it just before the Weddell goal. And so it looks like he's going to test it and get back out there shortly.
Toby might have got away with one there, looking at the replay. Warple. Cautious left foot kick down the line. Buckley and Taylor both went up and it left ear on his lonesome. A handball to Ginnivan. Hawks going forward again with danger. The curl of the kick. Moore into the corner. He'll have to head. He handballs up and Oh, the umpire has an assessment to make then, says no, that's okay. If he was a defender, he would have been pinged.
I think the umpire must have assessed that he went over him rather than in the back.
Hands up there, Connor. Pushing the back, Toby Benson.
But that also does highlight the style of this game, Hutto. That was easy for the Hawks to move the ball from defensive 50 into their front half. And a lot of the Giants' plays being slow.
Oh, Bedford really put Whitfield under the pump. He was good enough to regather. Heatling, Callahan, they're playing risky at the moment. Daniels through the corridor, looking to go end to end. Daniels needs the bounce. Frosty gets a crucial hand in there, and he keeps it in play. Sam Frost, the former Giant, in arguably career best form, and the Hawks are away. Moore has put that out of bounds on the full
Not even conceding a point at the moment, the Hawks. That's how well they're going.
Alan, stop. Stop.
Might be a score.
Review, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to go back. Yeah.
That's right.
Frosty's been getting it on the social media stuff too. A couple of weeks ago, did the gag as if he was going to retire.
That's right.
Retirement.
Review underway.
Yep.
And he's going to play another year at least.
Got to go back here. 5 metres backwards.
Pull that one, Bill.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, there is insufficient evidence to determine if the ball has crossed the back of the goal line or not. Decision on the scoreboard.
Presuming he then moves forward from there.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that Frosty knew that the ball was still in play, and he did that on purpose, Hutto, to get it out of defensive 50.
Outside 5.
So it's going to go back to Cal Ward.
Yeah. Here it comes. Hogan. Weddle got to the front. Hogan had superior judgment, but Weddle wins the footy. A bit disorientated with Scrimshaw. Everyone's spinning every time they get the ball, taking those dance moves from we saw before the game out onto the field. Here's another look. That's where they paused it.
That was over, wasn't it? That was a point for me.
Giants need a score. Into Toby. Throws it on his boot. Bounces not quite all the way through, and again Frost, Jaff, Bouncy, Weddle, Jaff squeezes it down the line. Heatling sends it back in exactly the same direction. And Weddle, cool customer, Hardwick. And that goes over. Question asked, was it
Apparently not.
deliberate, out of bounds on the full? No.
Ray enjoying his final trip back to Canberra today. Ray Chamberlain. That's his retirement at the end of the season. Meek again prevails with the tap. Callahan. Foster continues for the footy. Nash. Scrimshaw. Yeah, it's exclusive action to the right of screen, but no reward so far for the Giants. I'll probe again. Daniels, his agility allows him to get it out to Callahan, who was cornered on his wrong side. Wobbles one in for Ward. Hogan came late. Jaff. Hogan. Warple, more decisive by hand. Back to the numbers. Ward. Aim on cruising. Waiting for something to materialise down the line. That was the something, but Moore was outsized by Himmelberg.
Does he go inside 50 again? Just bangs it from a standing start. And he asks Hogan to launch. Hogan got rid of one hawk and then up over the top of another.
Now that is a luxury item. You've got a big man up there taking genuine contested marks. Just got rid of Jaff easy with a bump here. Just took him off his feet. And that's a good clunk. He's been doing that all season.
He's probably going to have to kick about 8 or 9 today if they're going to win, Dell.
Just 8 or 9.
Just 8 or 9.
Just 8
I
or
reckon
9.
he kicked 9 in one of the late rounds against Essendon last year. to break the run of 5 consecutive goals for the Hawks. He's got his second.
But what we are seeing, Hutto, outside of that first 5 to 8 minutes from a Giants perspective, they've got to do it the hard way, and that was a really difficult mark. As Lynchy touched on before, contested marking, you do your work early. So he set up his opponent in Jaff right now, outbodies him, and then has to launch at the football, and ultimately goes over Weddle. It's a tough way to live, though, if they're going to just keep bombing it in.
Yeah, spot on. You're not going to win if you're going to rely on contested grabs in your forward 50. That is a big ask for Jesse Hogan. Take him off, put him on the bench. They need him back out there. There's a Coleman medal race. Just one behind Charlie Curnow now, and plenty of scope to hit the lead.
Brings to the two-handed. Newcomb, though, was ready and waiting today. He sees options on the outside or aiming through the middle. Again, the Hawks go, and they go deep. Buckley. That's juggler, but a very fine mark.
That's 8 zip centre clearances for the game. Hawthorn's favour. Newcomb, 4. Probably got to make some changes in the middle, I would have thought.
Yeah, I don't know what their options are, Lynchy. But yeah, as you say, it's not working with what they're going with. D'Ambrosio tries to force the issue. McMullen, brilliantly done. He stuck to the task there. And he wins the free on the wing. A little bit of extra drama there. And winning the tackles 26 to 14. That's primarily because Hawthorn are getting their hands on the footy first around the stoppages. Deep to half forward. Weddle and Meek both defend, as does Hardwick with the handball backwards. Giants sensed an opportunity. O'Halloran ready. Deeper to Cadman. He's got help. It's O'Halloran who kept on running around the end. Frost held up things just for a moment till the extra assistance arrived. But the Giants stay ahead of the game. McMullen again with the setup. And it's Ginnivan getting back there. Try and take an intercept defensive mark on the last line.
Might have got lost there for a moment.
The world really is going crazy.
Went to the wrong end. But he got back to help. He was coming from the off-ball side.
Can they snare back-to-back goals here? D'Ambrosio, good smother. Pressure, Weddle, D'Ambrosio. And this time Thomas wraps him up. So it's really been stop-start in the attack for the Giants. We haven't seen their run and flow, their handball game, because of the pressure applied by the Hawks. O'Halloran, again, just suffocated. Ray barking instructions. Meek. Taken by Tom Green. Hogan O'Halloran tries to barge through. Daniels. Day. Taps it over.
Toby Bedford's doing a good job. We know he's reinvented himself as the shutdown midfielder from the Giants' perspective. He's gone to Will Day today, who's just had the 2 disposals.
Rick's very wary of Meek. Bedford has hatched that, but it's going to be a ball up.
Hawthorn have pushed one of their forwards up into this contest, allowing Sam Taylor to be the spare for the Giants down back.
Briggs does prevail that time into the open country. That's a little better. Tom Green had a quick look at it. Cadman trying to get a free kick. Meantime, Frost wins the footy to Weddle. There's danger in the handball. Sicily felt it. Thomas snaps it. He's missed. So many opportunities, for so much territory at least in this quarter they've had for just the 1 goal to show for it.
Eamon to Warple. They go quick. Can they try and catch them napping as Deer launches? Didn't have the hands in the end to snare it. Buckley. D'Ambrosio doesn't keep it in. Gee, it's scrappy at the moment.
It is, but it's also high risk with that handball on the last line of defence from the Hawks' perspective. Backing themselves in to execute under immense pressure. Adam Kingsley, as he does from the boundary line. Screaming instructions. Well, calm Sam Mitchell.
Yeah, the body language couldn't be more contrasting. Both ruck go to ground. Tom Green, Bedford, assesses the options. He's going to go to a one-on-one, and O'Halloran is pushed aside with ease by the more experienced Hardwick. Concedes to the skipper. Sicily flares it. Impey marks.
He's an amazing kicker of football. It's delightful.
We've tried him forward about 4 times this year, Sicily. It's gold on 3 of those occasions. Perryman mops it up. Himmelberg, Ash, risky. Wedges it to Iden. Just on a back foot, aren't they, as they try and move it forward.
They did. They're looking to switch there and get out to some space on the far side, but that's the defence of Hawthorn slid across extremely well to block it up.
Taylor, Whitfield. Possession number 13 for him. Launching from the side was Hogan. He was surrounded by 3 Hawks. Waiting at the back was O'Halloran. Throws it on the boot and no one is home.
How many times have we seen the Hawks defence collect the ball about a metre out from the defensive goal?
One of the few times they accepted a rush behind, though, Hutto.
Just going to say, Hutto, very frustrating for Giants fans to watch this that are in the house today.
There's plenty of Hawks here as well, though. Look at that out in the crowd, basking in the glory of their team. One of the absolute informed sides in the competition, and a bunch of young, brash Hawks, which they are really enjoying at the moment. Cadman getting up the ground and he's back up ruck roll to Tom Grant. And they get some flow and some forward play here with conviction. Perryman fires it in. Thomas with the take and the turn. He's got some offers in short, which he's just not convinced about. So he's playing it back out to try a different angle. Whitfield. He's just going to go into deeper water as possible. Bit of buffeting going on, but as the ball arrived, Jones and O'Halloran, the tacklers from the outside. Eamon was the meat in all of that. Weddle has done a bit of ruck around the grounds. Cadman enjoying up against a lesser esteemed ruckman. Oh, Hogan tried to make the play. Cadman wasn't quite sure how to approach it, and he turns tackler on Ward.
So Weddle's going to be the designated ruck here, which allows Nash to still remain on Tom Green.
Up goes the throw. Oh, is that the big mark of the year then, Joel, at a ruck contest? Ever the entertainer. Bedford, Mullen, O'Halloran not to be there, and they've snatched it away again. D'Ambrosio feeding to a one-on-one, and Kelshadere continues to excite. It's hard to believe he's only 18. We're only seeing the little glimpses, Del, but they must be so excited. Absolutely out of that.
Well, they've got this game well and truly on their terms. The Giants are rattled as Day's held out of that, and he appeals to the umpire, says no. Taylor, Whitfield. Can they set something up here, the Giants? Perryman, here goes the handball game. Across half-back. Himmelberg flares it. Thomas. Gain a bit of uncertainty. Just hangs it up in the air. And he was waiting then for Grovjeski to run and mark, but Hardwick standing in front.
Still waiting for Toby Green to get really involved in this game. Just had the 3 disposals.
Eamon's had the most for the Hawks. He's up to 13. 50-50 ball in the centre of the ground. Iden breaks the tackle of Nash. Not too many do. Impey, clever to Eamon. They just look like they've got more time out there, the Hawks. D'Ambrosio to Moore.
Just those abilities to go from a contested situation to find an uncontested mark. There's going to be 50.
And that is against Toby Green. Fans getting a little frustrated watching.
That was quick. And we're going to have a look at that again, because it looks like Tobes didn't move from the spot, yet his body angle did.
Yeah, they had a different angle.
Yeah,
He must have been told to stand about now.
He's played on and he's found D'Ambrosio, the wingman, floating down.
What do you think, Del?
It was a harsh penalty because his body angle changed, but I don't think he went forward of the mark too far. So it's just a matter of when the umpire called stand and whether Toby was still moving.
So Massimo D'Ambrosio, 3 goals, 5 in his first year for the Hawks. The left footer. And that had promise the moment it left his boot. Hawks extend their lead.
Well, it's a delightful finish. While we were discussing the Toby Green 50, was to have another look at it. So he's probably cribbed at least a metre, but you often get a chance to come back that metre, and the umpire will tell you to stand. Maybe it was emphasised by the angle of his body. While that's going on, just a little nap from McMullen, allowing D'Ambrosio to go sneak behind him. That's a great finish. And Kel, I know you've been a big fan of his season, coming across to the Hawks this year.
Absolutely. Do they go with the All-Australian wing, or do you push the mids out? That's the big question, Dal.
Well, I think we all know the answer. Cal, unfortunately for all the wingers out there, it's tough.
They start there. They don't necessarily finish in the team.
And the Giants get one out of the middle. Via a free kick to Toby Green. Play on. Watson was just about ready to take Toby down. High ball, plenty of flyers. Briggs finds himself as the rover. Daniel's more accustomed to that. So they go back for McMullen and then wide to Jones, and even Frost can't shut him down. He's giving him a little bit of a shove, but Frost says that's okay. Darcy Jones, as you can see it, just got to sort all the machinations out of this kick. Going to take a few extra seconds and moments to get right. Got to find another avenue to goal other than Jesse Hogan, who's kicked their only 2 so far. Jones gives it a shake. Might have given the post a shake as well. No, it's a goal. It was a tight squeeze. Yeah, between ball and post.
Well, it didn't look like he was completely convinced either, Hutto.
DJ Sue likes it though. I think we are going to have a review.
So it's a good response here from McMullen, first of all, after conceding that previous one, just to find Darcy Jones boundary side.
The technology is going to work against the Giants here.
Review complete. Looking at these angles, we can see a spike on edge as the ball passes the post. Decision on the scoreboard.
Sorry, Darcy.
So just a couple of goals for the Giants with 6 minutes to play before half-time. You did the Swans game last night. What was it about? 12 minutes into that second term, they got their first goal.
Yeah, I still can't believe what we're seeing, that they couldn't even score for a quarter and a half.
What a helter-skelter, topsy-turvy, crazy season that's unfolding. Watson tried for the first half highlight. Peatling. Game going nowhere. So the home side yet to click, yet to find any real rhythm or timing or flow here. Briggs to Ward, bustling away. Daniels tries to draw Sicily, thought about the handball instead, skies it. Giath, flicked out the side. Hogan, good to Green. Can he curl it around? He can't.
It's been a much better quarter in terms of their opportunities.
Yeah.
Their field position, I guess you'd say.
Well, they've had one more inside 50. The Giants, it's just been that conversion, which is unusual given their previous month.
More with the legs and then the strength to win it and bring it back inside for Ward. Didn't get a kind run with the footy, kept at it. Moore went a second time, but Himmelberg shovels it out. Now D'Ambrosio versus Jones. He was able to get away from the tag. Impey going back the wrong way as Newcomb, but again, time was on his side. Kicks to half forward in the general direction of Watson. It gets clobbered. It's another free kick advantage paid. Chol, absolute precision to Meek. Leading out, and he takes the mark.
Just pushed down really hard, Lloyd Meek, forcing Briggs to go defensive with him.
Yeah, testing them in many different ways. 6 goals, 2 for the season, Lloyd Meek. Coming into today's game. Had a shot for goal earlier, which he missed. This one would really hurt the Giants. Instead, it rattles the post and annoys the Hawks. And Sam Mitchell, who has looked calm, but it just depends when you take that shot of the coach.
Yes.
Our directors have a lot of power in this game.
There's a lot to unfold. 4 minutes all, that's a pull.
Sloppy. Whitfield run down. Play on, says the umpire. Can they punish them on the turnover? Day. Nash. He's going to go the extra handball to Gunston with the snap directly in front, and Gunston buries it. And they're out by 25.
That's almost typical of the Giants. They just struggle to move the ball, and they're not clean at the moment with their disposals. And this is great pressure from Hawthorn to put pressure on the ball carrier and cause the turnover. And then they're finding players in space. And obviously Jack Gunston doesn't need too much space to slot one through. And after, I think you said, Hutto, they've been good this quarter, the Giants, been owning the ball, but just haven't been able to convert.
It's not to make any excuses for the Giants. We do have to remember they do have a lot of youth playing. 3 players, 10 games or under. Another 3 under 30 games. All up 11 players, 62 or under. I mean, the Hawks have plenty of youth as well. And there's where the scores have come from.
It's the same amount of opportunities overall, Hutto. Just so accurate. It's been really good response after the first 8 minutes from the Hawks.
Briggs fist the green kick, and the Giants do go forward with some fluency. Daniels unexpectedly drops that mark. Now they go after it again. Sicily bends down. Scrimshaw didn't want to take on the tackler.
So here's the concern, though, from a Giants perspective. So it's been a good move to put Toby Green into the midfield. He's had a couple of clearances now, getting his hands on the football. But then it just leaves a lot of responsibility on Jesse Hogan as the only forward.
Brent Daniels, 6 disposals in this game. Taking a while to get going. Toby Green onto the boot. And while you've got Toby, you've still got a chance. Manufactures one for the Giants when others haven't been able to, and it's back to 19 points.
And desperately needed, Hutto.
Maybe I'll revise. They probably need 9 goals between Jesse and Toby.
So the first piece is there's no one on Toby Green, so he's come from the midfield, drifted down, and just waltzes through the front of that stoppage. That's poor defensive execution from a Hawks perspective. Doesn't take much, does it? So quick, hand to foot. So Newcomb's calling for someone to go to Toby Green. And then whether they heard it or not, no one actually did it. There's the frustration from a Hawks perspective.
Will that flick the switch for the home team in these 3 and a bit more minutes to play before half-time? Day, tackled by Peatling. He's making a name for himself as a very good tackler. A couple of game-saving tackles in the final few frantic minutes at the MCG against the D's last week. Sicily. Gunston already kicked a couple over his head. Ash. What's up? Oh, brilliant smother. Watson, every time he's near the ball, something happens.
Let's have a look at his numbers, Kelly. He's only had the 3 disposals, but the impact has been enormous.
Coming in here.
His defensive pursuits, look at that. That's superb. Fully stretched.
Well, he provided the tackle that produced their last goal as well. So, Meek with an old-fashioned hip and shoulder and puts Big Briggs down. And he might have hurt himself here.
And 50.
So both those shoulders strapped. And an unnecessary hit while they both had their eyes on the ball.
Go with him, it's okay. Play on.
Briggs bombs it. It goes like an absolute rocket over the head of Weddle. Grzeski tries to claim it. Hogan, look away handball. Toby goes without it. He's still going. Gone. It was a throw he was pinged for. Free kick to the Hawks.
Play on. Outside 5.
D'Ambrosio. 2.5 to go in the second term. The Giants kicked the first goal of the game, and it was all Hawthorn. But this quarter, 3 goals to the Hawks, 2 to the Giants. Lands where the numbers are. Bit of holding on Day. Hawthorn best and fairest drives to half forward. Perryman very wary of Watson, and you can understand why. Bedford, little gift to Buckley. Had Iden as an option, but instead goes long to half forward. Sicily didn't need to come off. He's just waited and watched, as we all did, as Weddle prevailed against the youngster. And he takes off. Feels a bit emboldened today, a bit more freedom to centre half forward. McMullen initially, now it's Jatho turning it back Hawthorn's way. Meek into the pocket. Late spoil was a good one from Perryman on Deer. And it's back over and out again.
Back please, boy. Kieran. Hold the meter, please, Kieran.
Hawks led it by 15 points at quarter time. Currently a 19-point margin as we close in on the main break at Manuka. Meek again. Tom Green had it stripped from him. Gunston. And then Bedford. Tangle of arms and legs. Gone. No attempt while he was down there. Now, Ginnivan was one player that tackled him. Moore was the other, I think. Moore was going to take the set shot. Jack did bounce up to say, I'm happy to have a go.
It's not a shot. But this man's reliable as well. Just a pile of bodies.
So 28 goals, 10 this year coming in for Dylan Moore. And he's already kicked one this afternoon. No angle. And it hits the post. That is the second one.
Same post.
Second for the Hawks. And one for the Giants this quarter.
This quarter, yep.
Midfield takes it wide. Hogan with a juggler. There's a bit of inequality in size in all of that, but brings it to the inside to Whitfield.
Disposal number 20 coming up for Lockie Whitfield, but they're all very similar to this, struggling to get any movement or overlap.
Yes, I mean, he's averaged, 36 disposals over the last 5 weeks, but teams have been prepared, really, to let him get the football largely. Haven't seen that many aggressive defensive tags, such as the Swans did a couple of times with Jordan of late. Iden. There's the last kick of the first half, which again belongs to Hawthorn. Giants more competitive around the footy in the second term, but not reflected on the scoreboard. Basically, both teams had the same number of inside 50s. Hawthorn kicked 3 goals, 2. The Giants kicked 2 goals, 3. Get down on the field to Alistair Lynch.
You're with Toby Green. Toby, how was your feel in that first half? Looked like you started to get the ball back in that second term.
Yeah, we're still a lot of work to do. They're sort of punishing us from our forward 50, and giving away a couple of easy goals, so we've got to tidy up a bit.
Frustrating across half forward. Looked like the ball movement off half back's been pretty slow.
Yeah, they've stopped us well, but we've just got to win contests down the line, which they've been getting them back a bit, so we've got to get to work in contests.
And your call to move yourself into the midfield?
No, a bit of both, but just got to get going, get the balls forward.
Thanks, mate.
Easy.
Well, Toby's got plenty to do, as do his Giants teammates. They've won the last 4 in a row. They've got a really tough run home. It seems like Hawthorn are such a difficult opposition at the moment, with momentum as they continue their push for the 8 and for finals. The young brash Hawks, they're doing it again in the nation's capital. They lead by 20 at half-time. More on this game and all the action around the country when we return.
All right, folks, it's half-time at Manuka Oval, and the Hawks by 27-5-47, leading the Giants 3-9-27. Hawks putting on 3 goals, 2 in that second quarter to the Giants, 2 goals, 3. As Toby Green said there, the Hawks' defence are working really well, and the Giants are struggling to get it through there. A little bit more of an arm wrestle, though. That being said, in that quarter, were both teams putting on a little bit of pressure for each other, which was good to see. Keeping it tight at 20 points. Still anyone's game, but the Hawks well and truly on top in this match up until half time. All right, as we always do, let's go over and have a look at the players' stats, see who's the leading players on the ground. Of course, that's Lachie Whitfield for the Giants. On 22 disposals, he's had 14 kicks. He's got big numbers there, 22 for Lachie Whitfield. 14 kicks, 8 handballs, 7 marks, 1 tackle. He's having a reasonably good game there. Carl on there on 16. Can Port Adelaide go on top? How you going, Brian? We'll have a look at the ladder in just a moment, but there could be a good chance of that. You just never know. Lockie Ash there with 14. D'Ambrosio with 13 there. Sicily with 12 for the Hawks. Newcomb with 12. Tom Green with 12. That means, you know, what Toby was saying, he went to the midfield because he needs to get the ball, get a little bit more on fire, a little bit for himself. He needs to lift his game also because he's one of the guys for the Giants that can turn the game around if things go his way. But keep him closed down, keep Jesse Hogan closed down, and Hawthorn are looking good in that department. All right, Warple with 11, Nash with 11, Connor Iden with 11 there, Perryman 10, Impey 10, Jesse Hogan with 10. Not too bad though, just with the 6 kicks. He's kicked 2 goals too. Need a little bit more out of Jesse, although he's doing his job so far up until half time. Ginnivan, a little bit of a quiet game there from him with the Hawks, just a 9. As I said, no big celebrations from him at the moment. Jyth with 8, McDonald with 7, he's kicked 1. Toby Green, he's just a bit quiet. He's been well held there, just to the 7 touches, 7 kicks. He's just had the 1 mark, 2 tackles, 3 clearances for Toby. Kicking the 1 goal, 1. So it needs a little bit of a lift from him. Josh Ward with the 6, Callum Ward with the 6. So we head down the page a little bit more, all the way down. And O'Halloran with 2 disposals. That is all for him for the Giants. 1 kick, 1 handball. Let's go and have a look and see who the leading goal scorers are so far in the game. And of course, that's 1 each of 2. Jesse Hogan for the Giants. He's kicked 2 goals too. And Jack Gunston for the Hawks. He's kicked a couple of goals there. Singles to Weddle, Moore, McDonald, Green, Ambrosia and Chol. So not too many goals being scored at present. It's a bit of a pressure, as I said. A little bit of an arm wrestle in that second quarter. We might see the game open up a little bit more in the third. Lachie Whitfield leads the way in the AFL fantasy points in that game with 83. He's in for a reasonably good score if he keeps on going the way he's doing. Carlamon on 64, Hardwick 63, Moore on 61, and the others all under that. Just before we get to the team stats, let's just have a look at the AFL ladder for Brian there. Port Adelaide, can they go on top? Well, it all depends on next week, doesn't it? Depends on next week. Let me just head to the fixture for you. Let's have a look who Port Adelaide have got next week. Port Adelaide, they play Melbourne next week at the MCG. So you would think the form that Port Adelaide's in, you would suspect Port Adelaide should win that game. They're going in that game at 149. Then the second last round of the season, they play the Adelaide Crows. So that'll be a big game. That'll be a big game because the Adelaide Crows are actually in pretty good form. So that'll be a cracking game. And of course, the last game of the round, where's Port Adelaide? They have Fremantle Dockers over in Perth. So that's, I tell you what, if Port Adelaide end up on top, they are well and truly going to deserve it. I think Sydney might fall from the top. Their form is absolutely not what you want to see at this time of year. And of course, after yesterday's big defeat, it's not where you want to be. So Port Adelaide looking good. It's probably the ball's in their hands if they want to finish on top. Just looking at the live ladder there, where these two teams stand at the moment. GWS Giants because they're not winning this game and Hawthorn are winning. If the game stopped now, this is a live ladder, which would put Hawthorn still at 9th, but on equal points with Footscray, Carlton and the Giants just below on their percentage. So it's going to be a fantastic run home to the finals with 3 rounds to go after this. As I keep saying, I've said this for a few weeks now, look out the competition above Hawthorn because they are the informed team pretty much, I feel, at the moment. They're the most dangerous side that you want to be playing at the moment. All right, let's have a little bit of a glance at the team stats now. See what's happening in that area. And as we have a look at the disposals there, she's pretty even. She's pretty even on the disposal count, 167, 186. Hawks by 19. Kicks are even. It's just the handballs in that department. I think that was pretty similar to the first quarter, the discrepancy of about 20 handballs between them. Inside 50s, they're both getting their chances here today. It's definitely not one-sided. The ball is going up and back, but Hawthorn making the most of their chances. They're a little bit cleaner, kicking a little bit more accurate, which keeps them in good stead. And you've always got to kick accurate, folks, especially when you've got those set shots on goal. You've got to take your opportunities when they come. 24 inside 50s to the Giants from their 12 scoring shots, so they're going at a 50% rate. Scoring to inside 50s, and of course, the Hawks also with 12 scoring shots for 25 inside 50s. So that's the difference, folks, in scoring accurate, both with the same amount of scoring shots, but it's the Hawks by 20. Disposal efficiency, both still keeping that reasonably well up, 73. 72% for both sides. Inside 50 efficiency, 54, 56, both above their season average. So they're doing well in that department. Free kicks, 8-10 to the Hawks. Hawks by 2. As I said, just standard free kicks happening around the ground there today in this match. Hitouts, Hawks dominating there, 20-15. Giants got a few hitouts back there. Clearances, 21-16, Hawks by 5. Centre clearances, 2-8. I think it was 2-3 in that second quarter, where the centre clearances, the Hawks were 5-zip in the first. So the Hawks are doing extremely well in the centre clearances. Stoppage clearances, 14-13, pretty even there. Giants by 1. The contested possession, pretty even there, 64-72, as the uncontested possessions. Turnovers, 36-31. The Hawks turned it over a little bit more in that second quarter. The Giants just brought back a little bit more of their pressure in the second quarter, where 2/3 of the way through that first quarter, the Hawks just dominated. Let's go and have a look at the possession. Timing possession for the match, 37% to the Giants, 46% to the Hawks. The last 10 minutes of that second quarter, 36%. The Hawks, 27% for the Giants. The marks, Giants are a little bit cleaner with their hands, 42-32 to the Hawks. Marks inside 50, 7-6. As I always say, they're both getting their chances. They're getting their marks inside 50, both having their opportunity. Contested marks, a little bit stronger in the air. I think they're a little bit taller side. The Giants, 7-3. Defensive tackles, both going pretty well there. Both bringing their game, 36-33 in the tackle department. Both a little bit above average, just by 1 or 2. Tackles inside 50. Look at that. The pressure is on in the both defensive angles there, 11-10. Both on their season average already, just up until halftime. The bounce, 3-4 to the Hawks, and the 1% is 17-15. They're both doing well in that aspect. Let me just roll this back up. Let me just keep rolling this back up. So we've got a fantastic game happening here, folks. And of course, don't go anywhere, because this is still anybody's game. If the Giants can find a little bit of their mojo, find a little bit of their run, get a little bit of clear space, find their targets on their lead-ups, They are certainly well in this game. And look, of course, the Hawks just need to keep on doing what they're doing. Keep bringing the pressure, running in waves. And it could be their game today. But it's anybody's game. As I said, the Giants, if they start to kick straight, they'll put themselves right back in the game. And they do need to do that with 3 goals, 9. They need to kick a little bit straighter. All right, folks, that's enough of me for talking. This game will recommence in 7 minutes. I'll just take us back down to the commentators while the commentators are there having a few opinions as well. Although they're just gone to the newsroom there, so that may not be worth going back down to the commentators just at this present time. So might as well say g'day to a few people that have come into the live enjoying the football today. Of course, always appreciate everybody coming into the footy, listening to your favourite team play, or if you're just a footy lover in general of AFL football, Australian rules football. As I always say, it's the greatest game on earth. And folks, if you want to, let me actually put this up for everybody. If you're unfamiliar with football, this wonderful game, and you're listening in for the first or second time and just wonder what this game is all about, I will drop a link. This is a video. This is a video that I took this is a vlog I did that's on my channel, and this is when I actually went to the football. So if you're a little bit unfamiliar with the game, you can have a little bit of a look at that video after the game if you'd like to do that. That'll show you a little bit of the game, etc., a little bit of vision. That's when I was there live at the ground taking a little bit of vision. This was actually at the MCG when I did this video of a day out at the football. So that is there for anyone who'd love to have a little bit of a look at that. Always appreciate if you want to have a look at the video, of course. So that should be reasonably good. Just having a look at the length. That's a 17, 18 minute video if you want. A title of that is Football, the Greatest Game in the World. So there we go. That is at the MCG. That's at our great stadium here in Australia. That's, of course, in Melbourne, the MCG. But that's it. But yeah, and thank a few people. Thanks, Marge TV, for coming in. I hope, and as I say, I hope the people coming in for the first time might enjoy listening to the football and may become interested in the great sport here in Australia of football, and pick a team. My team is Collingwood, so go Pies. But there are a lot of good teams in the competition. Vivi Footy, thanks for coming in. Hawks are actually winning easy as a Hawks supporter. Good luck with the Hawks for you today. I said they're doing a great job at the moment. 20 points up the Hawks at half time. AIM-Z, are you going to play it live? As I stated there, folks, unfortunately we can't show the vision live. It's due to copyright, and YT shuts the live down if that's done. That's why I put the vlog up there to the pin. If anyone wants to watch a little bit of AFL football, they can have a little bit of a look there on one of the vlogs I did. Adrian Sports and Karaoke channel, what's going on, bro? Thanks for coming in. I tell you what, Eddie G, you would have been probably, you would have been happy cashing out your multi, but maybe you're thinking now I should have kept your multi rolling with the Hawks up by 20. Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. The Hapsters, thanks for coming in. Always appreciate the Hapsters. Fantastic lady. Always well supportive of the channels. The One Porps, get rid of that Underwood worst commentator. Always about 5 seconds behind. I tell you what, most of the commentators I think are pretty good these days. I think most of the commentators are all ex-footballers, so they do their job pretty well, bringing this great game to everyone's ears so they can hear. Who else? Logan, 123, g'day. Hawthorn, he'd be a happy man at Hawthorn today. Since they're going well, your team's going fantastic there, Logan. Good stuff. Let's hope they can continue. Simply in the net, mega love shout out. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate that. That's one of my members on the channel, Simply in the Net, and of course, Adrian's Sports and Karaoke channel. Make sure you get over and check their channels as well, folks. Jason Egger, hi, I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand. Go Hawks. Great to have the New Zealand friends in from over the way. Good stuff. We've got another great man that comes in here as well. Halfwit, his channel's called. He's also from New Zealand, so welcome into all the folk from New Zealand. And the Sniper. How you going, bro? What's going on? The Gamer. Sniper is the gamer. If you like watching the gaming stuff, get over to the Sniper's channel as well. And Brian Ellis, thanks for coming in. Said Port Adelaide, they've got it all in their hands, I believe, if they want to end up on top of the ladder. But that being said, Brian, I really don't think that. I think finishing on top of the of the AFL ladder at the end of the season, that's probably just for bragging rights. I think whether you're first or second, it's the same. You both get the home final, you both get the second chance. So I think first or second is equally important. But yeah, I think it's just the bragging rights, whether you finish first or second. Anyway, folks, that's enough of me talking. We'll head back down to the commentators. We'll try and catch Sam Mitchell, being interviewed just before the bounce of the second half.
Yeah, Whitfield's been a bit of an issue. I think they've had a couple of really important players. I think Toby Green was pretty important in that quarter in particular. We know that they've got some high talent players, so managing them while playing our own game is a bit of the coaching battle at the moment.
And we saw Jarman Impey get his ankles strapped. Is he right for the second half?
Yeah, they haven't briefed me, so that's good news.
That is good news. Thanks for your time.
No worries, thanks, Litch.
So Mitchell's men leading by 20 points at halftime. It's been defensive dour game. We've seen the taggers are working. Bedford's working on Day, who's had 4. Nash is working on Tom Green, who's had 11. And we've got Gunston, who's worked on Sam Taylor, hasn't had any influence at all. Nick Dal Santo, if you are Kingsley,
yes,
what move are you making?
Well, a lot of those pieces are working. The only one that I would consider is breaking the tag on Will Day. So Bedford has done a superb job, but they're getting smashed at clearances, particularly centre square bout, 7-1. But more than that, Cal, the midfield of the Giants just aren't getting their hands on the football. Peatling's had the 6. Cal Ward, who's playing more on the wings, had 5. And Finn Callahan's just had the 4 disposal. So those guys individually and as a collective need to get to work in this second half.
Have a look at their run home. It does not get any harder than that. They could miss finals if they don't get this win this afternoon. So this is a season-defining second half, Hutto.
Basically playing the 4 informed teams in the competition to finish the season off. And one of them is Hawthorn. And they begin with a handicap of 20 points in this third quarter. Ward didn't rush at Bedford. He can shoot away off the mark. Great smother, though, by Will Day. Kept his head in the game. Now agility test off the left bird. He's tossed that up a little too high to make it comfortable for Dylan Moore, and Himmelberg has what he needs to do.
So you just asked about those positional moves from a midfield perspective. They've gone with Toby Green in the midfield once again. Got his hands on the football. As I look through those numbers, just as a collective, they've got so much more to give. Missing Cornelio, missing Kelly. Still a lot of quality out there.
Callahan playing as a wingman at the moment. The ball on the other side. Newcomb surging it forward. D'Ambrosio creeps close enough. He's already hit the target once. And he might have done it again. Oh, the joy.
And that's the joy and the speed. Absolutely, and this is why I think Hawthorn supporters are so excited about this group. Just with the speed out of stoppage and just the overlap run, missed the target, but it was out in front, and that's where you want to make your mistake, if any. And just great finish by D'Ambrosio on his left. That's a fantastic finish, something that the Giants haven't been doing. The Hawks certainly are putting the pressure early in this third term.
Bit of tongue out, Jordan style. 15 disposals and 2 goals.
Well, John Newcomb's had 11 disposals and 7 clearances as well, Hutto. So he's feeding out to those guys on the edges that are getting the job done.
Biggest lead of the afternoon, 26 points. The Blues nearly came back from down 32 last night. Anything's possible in this hurly-burly season, but the Hawks are winning it out of the centre again. Day delivering inside 50, and the defensive mark by Buckley.
It's certainly possible for the Giants to win this. They're certainly at the scoring shots, but the only speed in the game we've seen has been from Hawthorn. Just, we haven't seen this quick out of the half-back line hitting targets forward. Maybe they roll the dice now.
Himmelberg to Tom Green. 11 disposals in the opening half at Nash for company. Wedges that to Himmelberg.
That's a good pass, but still just crowded.
Charging, Hogan. Weddle couldn't do anything. Jesse on the burst. It's a sight for Giants fans, that's for sure.
Leo 7 more, Hutto. But what we've seen already, just give him half a chance. He's more than good enough.
Just to tie Charlie too.
2 goals, 2 for the afternoon.
Great grab, not only with the pressure from Weddle, but leaping over Sicily at the same time.
I mean, with 53 for the season, he's now on 55. Charlie Curnow goalless last night on 56. Coleman irrelevant right now. The 4 points far more important. And Hogan is leading from the front up forward.
Just give you a big full forward half a chance with a bit of speed on the ball. And as you said, Dell, give him half a chance. It was a great grab in congestion. Drops back towards the goal square, then powers forward. Traffic in front of him. James Sicily had to jump over him. But that is great finish, great mark. And encouraging signs for the midfield of the Giants. Just get it in quick.
And again, after a goal, they're able to orchestrate the opponent they wanted.
He's had a big month of football, Jesse Hogan.
Huge.
That's his return.
He's got 3 and levels up with Curnow. Newcomb runs the ground. Bedford, prolonged tackle. Questions are asked. So we've lost anything Newcomb, apart from the hair. Scramble continues.
Been speaking a lot about the slow ball movement from the Giants, particularly off the halfback flank, but I think we need to give credit to the Hawks' defence as well, not allowing the Giants to have too much flow.
Green force feeding it forward, helped on by O'Halloran up to the 50. Beyond Daniels, there's the sweeping from Sicily and Amon onto his left. Weddle charging away to give options for D'Ambrosio further afield. Up to the wing on that outer side, Ginnivan right up the ground. Looking to challenge them, put speed on it. Just some hesitation as Ward closed the gap. Just waiting to release the kick. That's where it came and had to be absolute perfect dimensions there, and it wasn't, so Ward wins it back for the Giants.
As you said, Dal, I reckon all the credit goes to Hawthorn. Just, again, set up now behind the ball so well.
To Peatling. Drives it to a one-on-one, and it's going to be a free kick to the Hawks against Hogan.
They both put their hand up there.
They did in a wrestle with Hardwick. So the Hawks repel another foray forward from the Giants. There's the free. Ward. Spent a bit of time in the VFL this season before winning his spot back in the team. Goes towards the rucks.
Sam Mitchell's comments were interesting at halftime. Lynchy, weren't they? Coaches do tend to put a negative spin on things at times, but he wasn't particularly happy, was he, with some elements?
No, he wasn't. He'd be concerned with the inside 50s, whereas Giants typically aren't a big forward half team, so they've got their numbers up, and the scoring shots were equal at half time, so that would concern him. But yes, I thought he was looking at the glass half empty.
Ward flicks it out wide, makes Tom Green work, keeps it in play. Cadman, Daniels, fresh airy. Push from behind was legal, and Sicily shows them the footy. Over the head of the rucks again. Here's Watson. I love how he just flashes in and flashes out. Still a long way from home, looking for Chol. The leap from Deer He's got a beautiful leap on him. Taylor goes without it. Picked up by Jack. Ginnivan could roll it through, but he misses to the near side.
So the hesitation for the two Giants defenders, not sure on who was going to actually go for the ball. Both stood back.
Almost cost them dearly.
Well, they conceded the shot, so that's not what you want to be doing. No doubt there's an intent to go to the corridor we've seen early in this third term.
Callahan gets involved in the chain. That's where it runs around the fearsome Hawks. Caught that from Newcomb. Just got the same level from his teammates as they try to congratulate him.
Just set him up. Newcomb gets a free shot on Peeling, who did well to control the footy and not let it bobble out.
Lucky's arms were down, so his ribs weren't exposed.
Daniels dribbles it forward. And as far as Scrimshaw knew where to go next. Newcomb avoids the oncoming pressure, but does cough it up. Sicily with a reflex response. Free kick, though, to Daniels out of that. There's a bit of confusion on the Hawks' faces. Off to Peatling. They come in a hurry this time. Toby on the lead up forward. Green with the mark.
Jesse won the top of the goal square. He had the one-on-one. Too late now.
Lateral lead now from Hogan. And he's a bit grumpy. He's Jesse Hogan. And he is muttering as he goes back with Weddle by his side as Toby Green's made the full assessment.
You'd think
Maybe
he'd
he
struggle.
thinks he can get there. No, he doesn't. Just sets it up. Hogan to come at the footy. Cadman likewise. Good tackle from Cadman on Scrimshaw. Just cloaked in, maybe a little high potentially, but
It's getting telegraphed, isn't it? Wherever Hogan goes, the ball goes. Hawks defenders should know to start rolling off and support Weddle.
I think that was the frustration from Hogan was if you're just outside of 50, just spin around and hit the goal square where he had the one-on-one. He's winning 90% of those today.
Green, Daniels or Jones all with their own threats. Clearing kick, Newcomb. Callahan, full stride. Hasn't been an easy day for him, but spent a lot of time on the wing where you can go unrewarded. Frost got the early push on Cadman. Tom Green, there was a lot that had to go right for that to be a goal. Ambrosio.
Just feels like it's Jesse or nothing at the moment now. There's
Spot on.
Cadman down there and Rudeski's only played a handful of games.
Riccardi is a big out, it feels, at the moment.
Going back with the flight, Himmelberg bobbles around. Toe poke from Chol, but the Giants emerge with a Perryman. Loops it to Callahan. Probably played his best AFL game last week against the D's, and a quieter one today. And that's a better kick. Green puts it out in front of Cadman. And here's his first opportunity for the afternoon.
That's nice. He worked back towards the goal square and then doubled back to create the space. That was a nice lead. And the experience of Toby Green. Knew he was going to just go out towards the boundary line, so well worked. Again, no real breeze, just inside left post.
19-9 for the season for the 20-year-old Aaron Cadman. And he delivers just when his team needed it most.
Oh, it's a superb finish, Lynchy. From a tight angle, being the left foot side to the boundary. And hopefully, from a ability to identify forward the football, Cadman should find some space. If all the attention's now going to go to Hogan, Cadman should be able to pop up into little pockets of space. So he's just back shoulder of Weddle. Just gets him on the blind side, just doubles back on him. That's good footy technique.
And that's where Cadman's just a little bit of experience over the last couple of seasons. He's still got a lot of work to do with his one-on-one marking contest, but that was certainly great preparation to create the space and then lead into it.
Yeah, that'll feel good for the young man. 20 goals for the season now. We saw Adelaide load up, didn't we, last week with 4 tall forwards against the Hawks, who could be vulnerable with lack of size. It didn't work for Adelaide, it's fair to say. There are opportunities. High ball deep, Sicily, out muscles O'Halloran. Getting it was one thing, trying to legally dispose very much another. So the help came from Warple and Impey and D'Ambrosio. Look at the chase from Jones. Tackle slipped down. Non-decision in the end, and it goes out of bounds. And there's the Prime Minister, who is a Hawthorn man.
Might be in the sing the song again if they get up.
Is he on the left wing of the ground or the right wing, Lynch?
in the... Very nice. I think he's drifting towards the left.
Yes, it depends. He is supporting Hawthorn, so take that into account. Back over the line.
There's another
familiar
familiar
face there.
He could be the Prime Minister, that guy bottom left.
Don't think you'd probably like the amount of doorstops and media appearances that go with that job.
The public speaking component.
Then Barosio, like a statue there, stunned and given a lot of time. And fair enough, the Giants asking, surely that was time enough to make a disposal.
Completely agree, Hutto.
League. Newcomb, who's had, I think, 9 clearances today. Off to Callahan. Bit of a stutter, and then Peatling. So starting to move it, and as a result of that, Hogan is in the clear and allows O'Halloran to take the mark.
So Newcomb, you were spot on, has had the 9 clearances. But for the first time in this game, it's the Giants that are controlling the stoppages. As a result, getting the field position.
O'Halloran kick 4, as we mentioned earlier. Last time they met, that was most unlikely, wasn't it, in that game? Still hasn't been a permanent fixture since then. Wouldn't he love to land one now? Hawthorn kicked the first goal of the third. Giants have hit back. Only centimetres away from kicking a third.
That won't do Jesse's mood any good, I wouldn't have thought. Nothing he disliked more than someone having a shot and they drop it on the line.
They've kicked the last 2, the Giants. These 2 teams so in form coming in. As McDonald, speaking of good form, takes a strong mark. Hawks won their last 3, Giants won their last 4. Out wide. Amon to Bruce. Into the pocket, Ginnivan all by himself.
We see that happen at times. The offensive team getting a spare in their forward 50, and that's exactly what Hawthorn had on that occasion. So Sam Taylor tried to spread himself around, but Ginnivan found enough space.
So Dale is clearly the sub's been made. Sam Mitchell wanting a bit more flexibility and movement up forward.
That's right, they've gone tall for small, so Kalshadir's given way. Luke Bruce on.
To keep them at arm's distance, can Ginnivan strike? He's curling it back, but not back enough.
Ash, oh, he did need that bounce too. Took it, heads to Iden. So Bruce, high on as the call. Iden backs back to it. Just open up a little pathway across to Himmelberg. Can the Giants keep the momentum going here? Really take it to Hawthorn. Just wasn't sure when to release it. Ginnivan made it more difficult than it might have been. Here is the imposing figure of Hogan. A kick to Weddle out of all of that. Giants fans didn't really appreciate the call. Sicily reluctant to kick until he could see something he was really satisfied with. Himmelberg is the spoiler. I think he almost missed it with his fist. The backup arrived though with Ash and Perryman. Just dabs it short to McMullen. Here they go. Haven't seen many traces of the tsunami. Maybe it's appeared in the third term. O'Halloran runs into Sicily and they run aground again. The Hawthorn skipper set up Scrimshaw. McMullen came hard, matched even harder by Ward of Hawthorn. Now it's their own version. Weddle charging forward. Deep goes the kick. And Gunston. A late call, but it's been paid. And we came with a few extra words from Ray. Just watch yourself there, Lockie.
Just calming down the situation.
Or worse to that effect.
Yes. Ray gives as good as he gets. That's perfectly fine.
Thank you, mate.
This will be against the flow of play. It has been a quarter control mostly by the Giants.
He's had his issues at times early in the season particularly, but no problem there for Jack Gunston. He's been carefully managed through the year, and He's in the team today. He's going to play a full game, and that's a really big goal, given that the Giants really started to get something going their way.
Absolutely, and this is where Gunston is so is worth a lot out on the field as almost a mentor, coach, and obviously his talent to convert his opportunities when he gets those. Again, get a run off half-back, get the ball to a dangerous spot where Gunston found the space.
That's more like the Josh Weddle. We've seen more traces of that today than last year.
It's just that subtle 10 to 15 metres that he takes just to break that line, and therefore that kick gets a little bit deeper inside forward 50. Without that, it's just an average kick down the line. There's Deer. That's a tactical sub for him to have a rest for the remainder of the game. Luke Bruce on.
So Gunston kicked 3 down in Tassie the last time these two teams played 8 weeks ago in that controversial win. He's got 3 here this afternoon. Ward tracks after that one. Keeps it in before Ash steps over the line.
It did raise a few eyebrows at the start of the year, which he didn't at that recruitment of Gunston back to Hawthorn.
Yeah, it certainly did. But as you said, like on numerous occasions, he's played that sort of half defensive role on some key intercept defenders, and his just potency hurts them the other way. So he's been valuable, extremely so.
Obviously like what they saw in this matchup the last time they played, and it's worked again today. Do Gunston and Bruce both go on? It's a bit like asking about Sidebottom and Pendlebury, although we know the answer with Pendlebury. Bruce starting as the sub. Took the first couple against the Crows in that big win last week. Weddle in the ruck all over Cadman. I thought that was a free going the way of Cadman. He's asking the question as well. Instead it'll go to Weddle. Blocking for a kick in the ruck.
Weddle's probably a sneaky chance here. You think he'll swing out onto that potent right boot and should get the journey.
Maybe Cadman didn't have eyes for the football.
So he kicked one on the other side in the opening half, but it's not to be on this occasion.
Distance wasn't an issue though, was it?
Margin 22 points.
Still look pretty pensive. Hawthorn coach at the moment, despite the scoreline. Buckley can't, so Ward sets the moment. That moment dissipates very quickly. Perryman jabs the left into Jones. You can see the runners to the inside. Gets there by foot to Whitfield. The launch kick across into the middle. Had to wait for it, Cadman. Got awkward, but stuck at it. Now the counter thrust. Scrimshaw setting up more. He's just waiting for McDonald. Asks the back to get away from Callaghan. It's dropped short, though. And a pretty easy fighter for Himmelberg, as it turns out.
Hopefully they can go now from Giant supporters' point of view, go quickly before Hawthorn have time to set up. But no, once again, they adjust extremely quickly, the defenders for Hawthorn. Block it up.
And the uncertainty on the face of McMullen. In the end, it's just long down the line. Again, Weddle chock full of confidence now. And he takes off. He is gone before you know it. 2 bounces. Deep goes the kick from Weddle. And Buckley had the significant advantage. He ran it just that moment before Bruce, as well as the natural height advantage. Swings it. They're going to try the other side this time. Himmelberg off and running and bouncing. Not the best handball for Whitfield. Had a pretty good deal of it, though, to Ward. And they get to O'Halloran.
So we haven't seen the tsunami yet this afternoon. It's been more like barely a ripple.
They're trying now, though, aren't they?
They are.
You see, you watch again O'Halloran and now Ward looking inside, trying to find the kick on the 45, just a 30-metre pass. It's not there, so they have to force short. Now Hawthorn will get the win in short, so that's good to keep it moving.
Callaghan, and he's going to go long with the big bomb. And Frost, too big and strong in front of Green.
Jesse's furious again.
Jesse's not happy, but rightly so, Hutto. I mean, there is other people in the forward line, but he's taken 3 contested marks. He's been their beacon in front of the football. He probably gets first dibs at where the ball is delivered inside 50.
50-50 ball on the outer wing. Ash, the loopy handball. Ward, Peatling, Jack runs him down. Just haven't had any room all afternoon. This has been a brilliant defensive, hustling effort from the Hawks. Weddle, the everywhere man at the moment.
Now this has to go quick.
In his 250th game. No one's played more games for the Giants. It's cut off by a Day. Crucial little spoil in there. Ginnivan, Day, Moore. Here's the tsunami, but it's the brown and gold. McDonald back to Moore, inside 50, beautiful delivery. Exquisite to Chol. And the cool customer will go back and try and slot it, and that will hurt the Giants.
So damaging off half-back from a turnover. We're all set in front of the football. That intercept from Will Day was significant.
I heard him referred to as the Charles Royce during the week. Like that? Yeah, that's fine. I liked it. Got a bit of smooth coolness about him. To give it the biggest lead of the afternoon. That is a smooth, cool kick from Chol.
Just too efficient. We were saying at the other end, go quick. It's very go quick to 15 or 20 metres out. The switch was dangerous. So here, this is a dangerous switch there. When intercepted, the whole field is open. And we see Hawthorn run through in a wave. They were +1 with runners here, so they could have even gone the overlap handball and one more there. But in the end, it was a great kick to a Chol lead. And he's finishing off beautifully in front of goal this year. Just a nice laconic kick from Chol. But look at the wave of runners. And we talk about the Giants tsunami. There is only evidence of the Hawks tsunami today. Just a great run, great confidence and support.
That kick from Dylan Moore. Overlap handball, then kick back across his body.
Usually if he hits the scoreboard, Chol, it's in multiple goals. He's done that again today with 2. Gunston with 3. Giants pressing. Peatling's hands were quick. Too much so for Daniels. Hawthorn trying to go again. First Newcomb, now Nash. Reinforcements arrive. Aim, and what a powerful handball it was to Newcomb, who kept on coming. Today, one more, and the shot is on. Newcomb.
Whoa. Didn't finish it, but how exciting are the Hawks to watch? Just this wave of runners, and as soon as they take possession, they've got teammates to support because they're confident that their teammates are going to win the contest, and they're out to support for the handball receive.
There'll be a few teams who are hoping they don't reach September, because who knows what they're going to be capable of.
Well, first the Blues will be shaking in their boots next week. What a clash that is. Could be for a spot in the 8. Still, they've got to get over the line here. Toby Green with the spoil. To his namesake, Tom Green. Cadman just throws it on the boot. Blazes away. Will land in. And the umpire said that's going to be a free kick. Was that downfield?
No, it was blocking.
Blocking.
Blocking in the marking contest, and that block's okay, but you've got to get back to the ball. In fact, the ball hit the ground with no hand on it. Free kick.
So Giath takes it. Briggs. Newcomb. Little sidestep. Just felt the pressure. Gets the handball away. They've got loose players everywhere here. Scrimshaw, Nash, Amon, lining up. Bruce. Dabs it. Out in front. All too easy. McDonald. Lining up for his second of the afternoon.
Good call, Curl. There's players out everywhere. You need to stop the game for a head count. They're just working harder offensively and defensively, and it's just stark at the moment.
Last 5 games, Connor McDonald's averaged 20 disposals and 2 goals.
James, 2 metres, please.
On track for his second here. He slews that off the side of the boot. Stays in play. Tom Green getting it out of the danger zone. Oh, big bump on Daniels. Came in with the even shoulder on Frost. Both had eyes for the footy. Frost somehow gets the free.
Not sure. Was he caught that too high contact in that marking contest? Because it looked fair.
So I think he just braced the bump just at the last second.
Yes, it's front on contact effectively in the end. Dylan Moore scrambles clear onto the boot.
All clear.
Now it's Hawthorn's turn to have a couple of shots that don't quite hit the mark.
And the Giants have just activated their sub. So Joe Fonte is onto the ground for his 5th run at AFL level. See Grishevsky in the back row there. Bit disappointed. Hasn't had a huge day.
Just his 3rd game. Subbed off in his 2nd as well. Still finding his way. Young Fonte, the West Australian intercept defender, playing game 5. Though last week he was the sub unused. Idle.
Outside 5.
Way through this. Won't be easy. There he is.
Play on.
Looks to get involved in the offence here. Mark taken by Jones.
Play on.
Good progression this time. Positive. Down to Daniels. Trying to draw 50 perhaps. And Ray says, yep.
Don't get in his lane. Let him run.
Don't get in his lane or his way. I don't think the captain of the Hawks is all that impressed.
3 more metres out on the side.
Come on, he says.
Right where you are.
The Brent Daniels going to go around the corner here.
Play on.
Looked it at his head. And has he executed? No. Too severe. I've seen a little bit of that this year.
I still can't get my head around the modern play needing to kick around your body in that situation.
Play on.
It was the 50 paid on centre wing.
Bit stiff, I reckon, for the 50.
So last minute before 3/4 time. Giants got it back to within 15 points. But the Hawks have steadied to lead it by 28. It's the biggest lead of this contest. Hawthorn by 15 at quarter time and by 20 at half time. Gunston with 3. 2 each to Toll and D'Ambrosio. And the Giants really out of sorts. What can Adam Kingsley say to them at the last change? He'll rev them up, give them something.
Final terms have been their worst too this year, Cal. It may or may not mean anything.
28 points is the margin. They're going to have to come home with a flurry. He's got plenty of issues on his plate right now. And Sam Mitchell's men trying mission impossible to get back into the 8. In fact, for the first time this season, it is a 28-point lead to the Hawks. 10-9-69, the Giants 5-11-41.
All right, so 3/4 time here at Manuka Oval, and it's the Hawks 10-9-69 leading the Giants 5-11-41. The Hawks booting 3 goals, 4 in that 3rd term to the Giants. Just the 2 goals too. I tell you what, these Hawks, they are the tsunami calmers. Well, I hope that was a little bit of a joke there, folks, because we know the Giants run in waves and they're called the tsunami when they run forward, but the Hawks just aren't letting that happen. And it's a game this one, it's as though that, like the Giants, you know, their season's on the line, folks. It's pretty much on the line, whereas they could be guaranteed a spot in the top 8 if they win today. That, you know, you think they'd be giving a little bit more grit and grime to their game today, but they're just not doing it. Whereas Hawthorn are going about like workmanlike state, and they are doing their job to perfection. But that, you know, that being said, folks, there's still a quarter to go, and it's still anyone's game, even though it's a 28-point margin. If the Giants get that run, if they get their tsunami up and running, to be reckoned with. If the Giants get their tsunami running in the last quarter and they can break through the Hawks' defence. So we'll have to stay tuned for that one. Let's just have a quick look at the players' stats, see where they're heading now. Lockie Whitfield is having a big game there for the Giants, but to no avail. They're just not bringing it, folks. They're just not bringing it. But Lockie Whitfield, he's trying his guts out there. He's had 30 disposals, the leading possession getter on the ground. 18 kicks, 12 handballs, 9 marks, 1 tackle. He's been everywhere. Carl Lamont, best there for the Hawks with 21. 13 kicks, 8 handballs, 4 marks, 4 tackles, 3 clearances. James Peatling, Hardwick on 14. No, hang on a minute. There we go. That's better. On 20. Ash on 20. Tom Green. I think Toby Green had a reasonably quiet third quarter as well. Ginnivan tried a shot on goal, put it around the corner with the banana, but faded left. Went through for a behind. So Jack hasn't had anything to celebrate on his boot today with the 2 behinds. And there we go. Toby Green still just with 11 disposals. Quiet third quarter from him. Jesse Hogan. The Giants need to find another target because they are targeting Jesse Hogan quite a lot when they go down to their forward as the key target down there. I think they need to find a different target occasionally to try and open it up and change the way they go in. It's just Hawthorn, they've got their 2-3 men going up with Jesse Hogan and he's finding it a little bit hard. Ryan, how you going, Squire? What's happening? How you going? That was a good walk you had earlier on today. Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Here we go, just as we roll down on the stats for your players. This is the line, folks, of the stats, their disposals. This is their kicks. This is their handballs, their marking, their tackles in this line, hit-outs and clearances. Lloyd Meek, looks like he's winning the duel there, 28 hit-outs. Kieran Briggs, 14 on the hit-outs. So that is your stats. Just a quick look at the goals before we head back down to the ground because this will be coming back up the final quarter in a couple of minutes. Jesse Hogan leading away with 3. With Jack Gunston. He's a good recruit, getting him back to Hawthorn. Ambrosio with 2, Chol with 2. And of course, we've got Weddle, Moore, McDonald, Toby Green, Cadman with singles each. All right, folks, let's head back down to the ground as we are within a minute of the bounce of the final quarter. Can the Hawks hang on? Keep their season alive, looking good to make a run for the finals. 10-6-69, or can the Giants lift their game, bring the tsunami and secure them a spot in the top 8? It's Hawks by 28 points. Let's take it back down to the ground.
Absolutely, just the speed of ball movement, and this is a classic indication off half-back. So the switch, and the Giants had to force the ball because they just couldn't move it. And then the other way, just the wave of Hawthorn runners, and they were +1 in their forward half. Once again, we've seen this on numerous occasions. They could have run it further in, but that's a lace-out pass to Marbior Chol, who goes back and kicks his second of his 2 goals. And they're absolutely dominating through the middle of the ground. Dell and John Newcomb's putting on a clinic in the middle.
He sure is. Lynchy, in regards to the way that he's controlling those stoppages, he's been really influential with the 9 clearances. But this guy's been significant as well. So he's had the 7 score involvements, as we can see, but he's just so crafty. He does the defensive backs as well, Cal.
He has 15 disposals, 1 goal, 2.
He's almost the most balanced half forward that comes up into the midfield at the right time in the competition. He's been in the league for a couple of years now.
25 today, playing game 95.
Is that all?
Yeah. Luke Brewster's playing game 295, so he's going to finish the season on 298.
So they do need to play finals.
And they do need to play finals. That's what Hawks fans would say.
Yeah, I think the expectation is that Bruce will play on next year, but it'd be nice to get the 300 done, wouldn't it? And the way they're headed, he might get that opportunity.
It's a good brand of football. Let's see how it goes for the next 30 minutes.
Giants haven't been able to come from behind so far this year, so 7 times when they have been in arrears, they've gone on and lost. But you never know, as we mentioned. The unpredictable has been about the only thing that's been certain about this season. Newcomb was about to have his 10th clearance. Instead, honour goes to Sicily. It's a reasonably deep entry. There's some holding. Which way? It's the Giants free as everyone just paused. Knighton didn't. Takes off. Gave it to Whitfield. So there is a way through it. It's clear. But Daniels, the all-important kick over the head of Sicily, and Toby Green eases back onto it.
So there's a couple of positional changes. So Green and Daniel start at the centre square bounce.
He's going around too. He's going to have better luck. So if there is to be a way, maybe that will be led by Toby Green. Inside the first minute, they have a goal and the margin is cut to 22.
That's probably the most open passage of play they've had all day. Came off that turnover off half-back.
It really came from a free kick and everyone stopped. That gave them a little jump, didn't it?
That moment of pause to Lockie Whitfield, who's had another significant day, ball in hand, disposal number 30. Just allows Toby out the back for one of the very few times. That's a good finish.
And Lockie Whitfield, as you said, has had a big first 3 quarters, 31 touches and 7 score involvements.
Adam Kingsley up in the coach's box for the first time this year.
He's superstitious, not working at ground level. Let's head upstairs, Cal.
He's got his work cut out for him. And his team, that was a bit of a crooked old bounce.
I recall that time from a few years ago where Max Gawn did a similar thing and the umpire just looked at him saying, you didn't have to punch it away.
Back to 22 points, still plenty of time. So much on the line and at stake for these two sides, particularly the Giants with their tough run home. Daniels off the turf, Newcomb, Meek, falls the way of Nash, bullocks his way through as he always does. Ward, one way then the other, into space. Foot races on. Chol, casually, just takes on 2 Giants, spins, delivers. Oh, that's exquisite. It couldn't quite hit Gunston in the end. But he did well, Marby or Chol.
You'd never guess. Sam Mitchell has gone down. So neither of them are happy.
Mind games?
Throw in. Meek. Walks the tap down. Ash gets the second opportunity. Ward tried to spin through. Daniels has more success. Found it, cleared it. Cadman gets bullied by Frost. He's got Hardwick behind, but Hawthorn thinking forward. Down the line, threading it to Newcomb, getting so much footy. Floats it into the pocket. Ginnivan came late in, so we maybe got the road of Gunston in the end. Tom Green and Buckley, and now Whitfield collects yet another possession to Himmelberg. Callaghan wasn't ready, adjusted well though. Daniels, there's some movement about all of this. Up to Bedford, slowed down by Frost. Be careful.
It was well done by Frost in the end.
It was. He was skating on thin ice with the umpire. Whitfield to Cal Ward. Does he take it and go? No choice. Oh, Darcy Jones in the middle of 3 Hawks. And they couldn't close that gap, so the Giants are mounting something.
Well, as risky as that handball was off half-back, Hutto, that's what they have to do. You've got to take the game on a little bit. The team defence and the set defence of the Hawks has been so solid today. They don't initiate that brave handball. They go into slow ball anyway.
Great use by Cal Ward into that corridor spot. I think he's probably entitled to even have a shot, but felt that he could hit the target easier.
He thought he had a goal earlier and was overruled at review. So 2 behinds, but this one, the equation much simpler. If they are to mount a significant comeback, these opportunities have to be converted just like that. And if the Giants have to win, they'll have to get into territory they never have before when it comes to comebacks.
So here's that little handball we were just speaking about. So Callaghan not even paying attention, thinking that I'm clearly not on. And it just creates that overlap run. Even through this part of the ground, the Hawks are retreating, trying to identify their man and the most dangerous space at the same time. And they neglect Jones in the corridor.
So the first 2 goals to start this final term, and they're back within 16 points. Just hanging around. Still plenty of time. Meek straight down the throat of Warple. A real up and under, spoil from Ash. Handball under pressure was a little wide for Whitfield and opened the door for Bruce to tackle him. Whitfield with his 32 disposals. Newcomb's had 23 for the Hawks. Meek takes it out of the ruck and then tackled.
Lloyd, 1 metre. Lloyd, 1 metre. Way on.
They engage in a wrestle again, the two big men. Ground level, Watson wearing the one blue, one pink boot. Can't manufacture anything. Briggs. O'Callaghan, all running back into trouble. There was McMullen. Daniels grits the teeth with intent down the centre. We haven't said that too much this afternoon. Peatling to Green. Green. He's always thinking one step ahead than everyone else out there, and that is a 50-metre penalty.
And his Hawthorn defender came in too close there.
Was it McDonald?
Connor
Yep.
McDonald.
Giving away the 50.
Just as Toby Green just was starting to swing out to the right, where McDonald was basically going down the tram tracks out of the side, but was too close in the end. Now the speed's come into the game for the Giants.
And it's been Brent Daniels. He's been the one that's given them some life through the midfield. Already had the 5 disposals this quarter.
Lining up for his third of the afternoon. Jesse's got 3 to make it 3 in a row. They're storming back into contention in Canberra.
Again, they did it well with that run. As you said, Daniels is getting involved, but the run and the use by hands to start with, then the 50-metre penalty, obviously. Just see here, McDonald comes in close, goes down one side. Oh, not a lot in that. Very unlucky, I would have thought.
It is the protected area, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
We shouldn't really be surprised. We've referred a number of times to that 6-point close game 2 months ago in round 13. Last year it was a 13-point win to the Giants in Sydney. And remember that thriller in Gather Round where Harry Himmelberg at both ends of the ground was the hero.
That's right.
At Norwood, they won by 2 points on that occasion. Outlook more gloomy for Sam Mitchell from ground level at the moment. Out of the centre again, they threaten, but don't prevail. Jath with a great move off the wing. Give a bit of freedom and a bit of time for Hardwick to choose correctly. Today hasn't been a factor. He still could be, of course. Bruce contained by Iden allows Taylor to use the hands. And now Ash as they covered the middle, but too strong on the kick, and Meek took it, turned, and there's the lead of Gunston. He knows all the right moves, doesn't he?
Just had a couple of moments, ball in hand. Lockie Ash turned one on over earlier that resulted in that Gunston goal. Might be the exact same thing. The option's absolutely honest. Finn Callaghan in a good position, corridor side, through the corridor. Can't defend that on the way back.
So it's in Gunston's hands. And it sneaks in. So for all the youth, it's Jack Gunston, who probably hasn't even downloaded TikTok, that kicks the most important goal. And gives just a little bit of a steadying influence on this.
Well, that's a big miss in that corridor. Missed by a long way. And Big Meeky, nice little lace-out pass to the wily old veteran, just slots that one through.
I could be wrong, of course, Lynchy. Maybe he's right into it.
Well, maybe his kids had downloaded it for him. It's the only chance I'd get, I would have thought.
But given the Hawks are very active on social media post-game, Hutto, you'd like to think they've all got relevant apps, including Jack Gunston.
Nicely spaced goals too, we saw there, one in each quarter. Oh, Kieran Briggs had his chance to whack at 100 metres as well.
How did they respond, the Giants? Can't get their hands of it out of the centre. Newcomb just over the head of Chol. Where's the Wizard? Here he is on cue. Bone-crunching tackle from Perryman.
So that centre square bounce numbers for the game is 13-4 in favour of the Hawks. Putting so much pressure on the defenders.
Meek. Ward. Hacks it out of the dangerous territory. Weddle drops what he should have taken in the end. Frost retreats. Hardwick.
Play on.
Eventually O'Halloran comes to him and he's able to get it to Scrimshaw.
The player short as the Giants
Outside 5.
drop back into their defensive 50.
Eamon, Scrimshaw spears the pass. Buckley was the one that read it best. And they press the green button and go here. Jones has to get on his bike. Handball straight to the opposition under the pressure from the Hawks. And the turnover's on. McDonald's kicked a couple.
But even there, we saw a 3-on-1 situation on the screen. Just great work rate from the Hawks.
Sicily hangs it up in the air for shoulder leap. Got his fingertips to it. Himmelberg, Giants defence, under the pump. Callahan, McMullen. A bounce, he's waiting for the Hawks to come to him. Jones, the youngsters team up, and they work it well. O'Halloran turns around. Oh, what a mark from Toby Green. He went too early, and he just was able to hang on with a bit of hang time.
That's great from Toby Green, because what happens if you go early, it's really hard as a defender to, one, see the ball and then get your fist to it. So he goes early and hard to get a fist on the ball because your back's protecting that space.
Looked like it was going to sail over his head. Toby Green lining up for his 4th of the afternoon. Won't make the distance. It's marked on the line by Hogan.
That's comfortably in. I reckon it'll be on the line, but certainly not across, I wouldn't have thought.
So Ray just goes over to Jesse and explains we're going to review it.
Jesse saying, I've had a bad second half.
He was on, he was running hot in the first half. He's kicked 3 goals.
Just outside the centre square.
Well, we had a comical situation in a similar position on the ground a few weeks ago at NG Stadium where Jesse Hogan took the mark in the same spot.
Looking at these angles, we can see the ball's controlled before crossing the back of the behind.
And we set up behind the post at one particular point. See how they line him up here, Cal?
For the 5th consecutive week, he's lining up for a 4th goal. He's gone 4, 4, 4 and 5. Can he keep them in this single-handedly? Giants fans hanging over the fence on the edge of their seat. To give them hope. Yes!
He's just saying to his teammates now, just get it into me. Just throw it up in the air and get it in quick. Adam Kingsley's barking instructions down the line as well. Probably similar sort of instructions. But this is where Jesse Hogan just didn't concede that it's going to float through. In a 2-on-1 situation, Weddle will be really disappointed with that. You've got Frost to lock him down, Hogan. Weddle needed to come over the top and spoil that one.
Yes, everyone, your Coleman medal leader outright is that man, Jesse Hogan. And between Toby and Jesse, it's 7 goals this afternoon out of 9 for the Giants. It's been a wonderful story, which we've all enjoyed with all the issues he's had over the time. Now, there's something going on down in the
goal square. Yeah, it was against, is it Toby Green came out of the square too early?
Could hurt. Wow. Usually the defence is a bit out of kilter after that. McDonald, moves are made, the leap from Gunston. Things spinning a little bit, so just to wait and see approach here for the Hawks. Scrimshaw, almost everyone ahead of him in terms of the opposition. So poking a hole, not easy for Eamon. Just floats one into the pocket. Got out the back to Bruce, and you can't let him do that. And the answering goal couldn't have come much quicker. We saw Gunston and now we see Bruce. So the Hawthorn veterans, when needed most, stepping up.
He's so crafty and dangerous. He's made a living from that. So this is what we believe was the free kick was for at the centre square bounce. So there's Toby Green.
So this is part of trying to protect and get the right matchup. So in doing their tactics, it's actually cost them a goal.
Well, he didn't fight that hard to get back to the goal square. It's just so highly unusual, but whichever way you look at it, Luke Bruce kicks his first of the day, the sub.
So Giants had all the running, and it's the old-timers in Gunston and Bruce that have goaled this quarter. Still they go. Halloran missed the target. Ward flicks it out. McMullen just stabs that into the pocket, a one-on-one. Hardwick and Green. Hardwick wins on this occasion. Curls it back. There'll be a free kick going to Moore. A bit of side-eye action happening there. Dylan Moore before deciding to go long. Down the line, in front Taylor. Well, he's been well beaten this afternoon. Dal?
He's been quiet. Gunston's done a superb job, as have all the forwards, to get those preferred matchups that they want.
Daniel's trying to lift this side. Perryman. It was an awkward kick and an awkward half volley for Scrimshaw to gather, but they've got the numbers. Impey just wobbles that towards McDonald, who's more than happy to see it over. 10 to play. Margin is 16. Twice this term they've got it back to within 10, and twice the Hawks have had the answers.
We remember way back when Port Adelaide overran the Hawks and they had that huge lead over at the Adelaide Oval. Lessons were learnt, no doubt, that day. I'm trying to stay positive, but the Giants have been building and building. 4 goals straight to 2 goals straight in this last quarter. 16 points. It still feels like it's just hanging there. Tension starting to grow around Manuka Oval.
To the Hawks' credit, when they have looked like they were struggling, momentum has been in favour of the Giants. They've just found a way to sneak in a goal. The Gunston one earlier this quarter, and then the Luke Bruce one. 2 senior heads.
Edgeworth got a hand in. Daniels just dribbled the kick only as far as Moore. Iden versus Watson. More experience. The bigger player prevails. Quick kick, Cadman inside 50, but a chaos ball, which means Green and Hogan. Hogan is the tackler on Frost. Came to a standstill in the tackle, no whistle. Now Hardwick, he has to try and look like he's getting it out, and he convinces the umpire he didn't dive on it. Bubbling away. Frost and Hogan back towards the goal square. Meek powered onto the ball, couldn't release it. Here's Toby Green, somehow, as very few could. Oh, it deserved a goal, didn't it?
He's dangerous, very dangerous. Anxiety in both coaches' boxes, lifting towards the end of this game.
Both muttering away, presumably to somebody.
Amon by the broadcast wing. Off hands, Watson goes without it. Callaghan gives some ground to Whitfield. His kick couldn't hit the target. Callaghan goes back in and tries to help out.
It's great hands.
A chance here for the sub in Fonte. Long ball, Hogan's direction. He's surrounded by Hawks. Himmelberg's going to help him out. Can he get his hands clear? He can't. Frost wraps him up. Wonderful tackle. And it comes out to McDonald.
Out here.
Moore. One-on-one down the line. Bruce. A goal here would make life very difficult for the home team. Started as the sub, already has come on and kicked a goal to Meek.
It's goodbye, Meek, just pushing down, giving another option.
Done that a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah. Been exceptional. Reeves still out of this side with a back injury, 1 or 2 weeks away. That is an absolute rocket, a monster kick. Offline.
It's been part of his growth this year as well. Hutto has had ability just to get involved a little bit more in the play, just finding other ways to contribute. Such a big body and such a handful of round stoppages.
Whitfield to a 1-on-2 against, but Buckley was well positioned, didn't flinch under the pressure. Jones, he takes off, has himself 2 bounces, and then stretches the handball to the waiting Himmelberg. Ducks inside, Day, what a great smother. But Himmelberg comes again. Newcomb, more opposition now for Jones. Herring after it, but Bruce, and the numbers were significant, and they do win out in the end. Impey with a cute little kick, barely the required, but apparently it was enough for Newcomb to be awarded the mark.
Bruce might have got away with the throw as well, Hutto.
A lot of possessions here with that. Only marginal gains so far for Hawthorn. Scrimshaw giving up some more territory. Yes, the onus is on the Giants, isn't it, to win the ball back. Are we going to see this mode from Hawthorn from here on in? They try and protect their 16-point lead. Amon with eyes darting. Oh, that is an adventurous kick into the middle under the circumstances, but a sound one to Newcomb, who's been stellar today. His 25th disposal, 11 of them started in the clearance. Out wide to Weddle. So bit by bit, there's Meek giving them an option. Child is deep as well. Back to Newcomb. Standing off waiting. Wins the moment. 6:30 remaining. One more goal might just about do it. Gunston tries to break free. Ash does enough. It's Bruce who makes his claims. Gunston tries the arm riding up. Didn't work for him. The pleas are made from the Giants for holding the ball. And the umpire not interested.
Another stoppage.
So Crooks will make his way back onto the ground.
Here he is, just in time, Dow. Palms it down and then he's at ground level.
Actually got away with that because Cadman was in the ruck as the umpire threw it up and then Briggs entered. They're going to say that you went to the wrong player.
Sure about isn't that. He's favouring that right shoulder. Goes up with the left, gets it straight down toward to Ginnivan. Quick hands, Day dancing on the spot. Ginnivan back to Impey. Feeds it out wide to Ginnivan. They run out of space. Hasn't kicked a goal this afternoon, Jack. So we haven't seen the exuberant celebrations that brings footy fans through the gate. Meek straight down the throat of Newcomb. Ward rather it is.
They're doing well, the Hawks. They're getting plenty of numbers around each stoppage, and if the Giants do get out into space, they're just working hard defensively to clog it up again.
Briggs, Callahan does well. Tom Green. And up and under. Who will it favour? Not Hogan. Daniels. Brought down in a fierce Newcomb tackle. Hogan tries to don't argue on Sicily. Doesn't quite come off. And the Hawks win a bit of yardage.
It might be in strife, Cal.
So Giants with possession. Time is ticking down. It is not their friend.
It certainly isn't. As Buckley go Fonte away across and now to Taylor. Bounding out of the fence, Iden. Doesn't take on Watson. Instead, enough distance on the kick. Himmelberg will give it a thud. Actually tempered the kick for Jones. He could pop it over the top. He's eyeing the inside even further. There it is for Daniels. It was short. He got one in the back. Ray wasn't sure. The out-of-zone umpire was. Confirmed that the shove was on. And Daniels will have to extend himself here. He can kick a long ball.
He's looking for a give-off already.
But can he kick it this far?
I'm sure he can. He's sort of searching for someone to handball off to start with now to hit a pass.
It's getting towards the desperation stage for the Giants. Brent Daniels gives it a mighty crack. And it's back to 10 points.
There's
and
no
we shouldn't
way
have
he's
expected
confident.
anything else, Lynchy.
Absolutely, Hutto.
The Giants, small Giant, has kicked the telling goal.
Just a nice little pass in here, get the high contact, free kick. But the eyes were darting around all over the place. And it looked like he just thought, oh, I'll just kick this as long as I can. and sailed over the fence. Comfortably had the journey. From 52, flushed it over the fence. That's a great goal. And just as a chance, they rolled the dice out of defensive 50 there. And that's where they've got to win it. They've got to roll the dice. This quarter, defensive half scores 5 straight. That's the difference. That's the GWS Giants that we know.
5 goals to 2 in the Giants' favour in this final frantic term. Daniels trying to inspire his team. Dashing. Powering ahead, and Hogan's taken it. Jesse, oh, hang on. He thought he'd been told to play off.
10 metres. Thanks, Xiaomi, coming out.
The umpire finally steps in and takes control. Didn't want a rush of blood.
Another contested mark.
He's been enormous. Once again, the key forward, Jesse Hogan, as has Brent Daniels in this last quarter.
He's rushing this a bit.
Lining up for a handful to extend his lead in the Coleman. Who cares about that right now? The stutter approach and the finish. The Giants' will to win is on display in the nation's capital.
How good. Just get it into me. And he's just clunking them. He's good on the lead early, but now he's just taking contested grabs in that forward 50. And Briggs goes down and hurts his shoulder in this contest and took a while to get up off the ground, but Daniel comes out. That's near that genuine space to get out the front of the stoppage, and then on a one-on-one, good grab, outreached Weddle. He's been huge, Brent Daniels, in this last quarter. That zip through the middle of the ground. That man's been huge all day, all year.
Huge centre square bounce coming up. The part of the ground that the Hawks have dominated and controlled.
3 minutes 39. So delicate is the situation in the game and the season. A free ride out of the middle from Nash gives it plenty. Big ride from Chol, but Taylor with the punch. Ash, a rush ball. Ward and D'Ambrosio ready themselves. The veteran gets his fist to the ball and gets it out. It's at the right end of the ground for the Hawks, though. There's your live ladder. Hawthorn, after losing the first 5 games of the season, have been gradually working their way towards the 8. The Giants just hanging on. In this game, it's Hawthorn in front. And that's a free kick held without the footy. Advantage. And off goes Whitfield, feeding it to Daniels. Guiding it beautifully to Toby Green. Where is Jesse? He's got 2 protecting him.
Yeah, the Hawks has put one back in front of Hogan.
Toby with 3 goals. Jesse has 5 and looking for a 6. Or will it come from someone else like Tom Green? Unbelievably, the Giants are in front.
Come from nowhere. They've been getting belted out of the middle of the ground. And with that zip of Daniel going into the midfield, the Tom Green fan club over on the far wing, they're up and going.
Yeah, his hometown.
That's great finish. Great finish around the body, not preferred. And again, good contest. Get the ball to the front.
So now they're in front. Instead of just hanging on in the 8, they jump to the 3rd.
It makes no sense, I know. It makes absolutely no sense.
1 goal and they move up to 3rd. How does Hawthorn respond? It's taken a while. It's built this contest, but it's going to come to a fitting finale. Green takes off after it. He's had Hardwick for company all afternoon. And just like in Tassie, going back 2 months ago, it's going to be a heart-stopping, a pulsating final 2 and a bit minutes. That one ended in controversy. That one ended in a Hawthorn win. Briggs, Daniels, energised. Callahan. trying to work his way in front was Jones. Comes down, little dribble kick into the pocket. Where do he sees it over?
Brent Daniels has been enormous. Incredible last quarter. He's had the 12 disposals, 6 of them score involvements, tackles, clearances.
But they hit the front, the Giants, for the first time since the 7-minute mark of the opening term. It's been all Hawthorn until this last quarter. Meek, Day, and up and under. Moore controls it under pressure. Nash skies it. Camped at the drop there was Day. He goes to ground. Chol, a little toe poke. Taylor. And a hurried kick by the Giants. Right up against the boundary line. A desperate Hawthorn asking the question. Sporting a black eye, Lockie Whitfield, as the skipper sucks in the oxygen.
So the Giants have got an extra behind the football now that the Hawks will equalise. They want to have even numbers in their front half to make it a fair competition.
13,268, a sellout in the house at Manuka.
And captivated by this thrilling last quarter. 7 goals to 2 the Giants have come back from. Jones as they seek another. Up against the line. Now the onus is on Hawthorn. Day, clear of head and of hand. To Nash, and now to Impey, and then to Amon. Warple with a kick to centre half forward. Chol wasn't sure whether to go for it or not. Sicily's been sent forward. Perryman grits the teeth. Matched by Hardwick. He's also in the front half. Sicily captured by Buckley. Absolute desperation from Buckley. And now the Giants have to see out the last 60 seconds. 28 points. They were behind at three-quarter time. They're in front by 2 now. The ball deposited on the wing, and Jesse Hogan has taken the mark. And he doesn't care that he's a long way from home. That doesn't worry him at all. It's a game of keepings off now. And the Giants will play for as long as they need to. It's up to Hawthorn to step in. Down to 25.
They've never come back from 28 points down. So this would be their biggest comeback win ever, Hutto.
And 25 was their previous greatest. Down to 10 seconds. They have managed this so well. And the Hawks are learning a hard lesson, as they did earlier in Adelaide for the second time. They did so much right today, but the Giants win. Toby Green, Jesse Hogan were massive. Tom Green kicked the winning goal, and the Giants jump to third for now. And the only thing that we know in this season is that nothing is certain. Their biggest ever comeback win. So much to be proud of for the Giants. They topple the Hawks in Canberra by 2 points. And these two sides play yet another thriller. Richie.
Thanks, Hutto. Tom, trying to grab your breath. How's that feel?
Fantastic day. To be honest, the Hawks were the better side for the majority of the day, but again, we've talked about it a few times in recent weeks. I think the resilience of the group, be able to, come in with deficits, but never feel like we're out of the game, and we showed it again today. So there's a lot to work on, but yeah, it's a great finish.
Now they change things around a little bit. Brent Daniel goes into the midfield, gave us some real spark and run.
Yeah, he does. He's a super player. There's a reason he leads the league in goals, goal assists. He's so clinical in the forward half, and having in the midfield as well, a clean player like that, good decision maker. We see the benefit it has, so yeah, he was super.
You said that the Hawks probably dominated a major part of the game. They look like clearances. They really worked you hard, and their defensive strategies to get back and lock it up was tough.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, I mean, they've been a fantastic side for most of the year now, and they were running really hard, so we knew it was going to be a tough one. And as I said, I'm just really proud of everyone for being able to dig in and turn around the last quarter.
I reckon there's a full crowd here, and your teammates pretty proud of that snap on the left. Talk us through that one. You look like you flushed it, and you knew it was going straight through.
I did. It was lucky. As soon as I hit it, it felt pretty sweet. So it was nice. It was surreal, but I'm just glad it went through. And then to be able to finish the last few minutes as well was it was a really good effort by everyone.
I think each time we talk after games, we talk about Jesse Hogan. He had another monster game today. Everything that was bombed into the forward 50, he just grabbed.
He makes us Miz look very, very good. He's very handy having up there with his sticky mitts, and he's kicking goals from everywhere too. So, I mean, he's a superstar, and I hope he does win the comp, and he's been unbelievable all year.
Well, he's in front now, and he's been interviewed on the other side of the ground. He's a superstar, and you guys are up into the third position just at the moment, so congratulations.
Thank you very much, Lynchy.
What a gutsy win by the Giants. They managed it. I mean, timing is everything, as we know, and it couldn't have been much better than that. They hit the front, and they just managed those last minute and a half so well.
He posed the question, or I have to wonder, where was that? Where was that brand of football? And it was that energising the footy off the half back line, which was risky, but I thought this was the move of the day. This was significant, and it was probably forced, to be honest, to Adam Kingsley to get some energy in that midfield. This is the last quarter numbers for Brent Daniels. The half forward goes into the midfield. 12 disposals, 6 score involvements, gets a goal himself and laid 3 tackles. Without him, that result doesn't happen today.
Oh, kicked a ripping goal too, didn't he? That long bomb went through as part of those 12 disposals.
5 goals to three-quarter time, the Giants. They came home with 7. 7 goals to 2.
And to think that they would have been sitting in 8th on percentage to now be in the top 4. What a crazy season it's been, with more to come.
And with a really tough run home, that win, I mean, they're 2 really close wins in a row. Makes it 5 on end for the Giants without playing necessarily their best footy. Got my handy players to come back in, Kelly and Keneally over that last 3 weeks.
Yeah, they beat the D's last week by 2 points. And now they beat the Hawks by 2 points, and they have got a tough 3 games to come. The Lions and the Gabba. They'll host Fremantle, and in the final round they've got the Dogs at Mars.
At Mars, that's right. Well, we've touched on this for a couple of weeks now. If they are to get there, there'll be nobody in better form, because that is a difficult run into September. And I think you look through the group, and particularly that guy in front of us, Sam Taylor, he's got so much more growth. I thought he was well held today. Didn't have a great performance last week against the D's, yet they win both of those games. You mentioned about those couple of boys that are out, including Riccardi. Hopefully they all get back soon and just complement what's already been happening over the last month.
Yeah, Josh Kelly due back next week from a calf injury. And Steve Canelio still a couple of weeks away with his re-injured shoulder.
And the Hawks obviously can still make it. They win their last 3. They can still make it, but they'll now be relying on a few other things to go their way. Like beating Carlton go a long way to potentially doing that. You said that the Blues have very winnable games after that, so they've definitely made the job much harder for themselves. And to be fair to Sam Mitchell, he wasn't particularly happy all day. He wasn't comfortable at all.
Yeah, we found that semi-amusing given the position they were in at all those times. Hutto, but the numbers that the coaches look at are sometimes slightly different to ours. Cal, what they value internally, there must have been alarm bells that something wasn't quite working. But the inside 50 count, they were +5, the Hawks, so that wasn't a concern. It was just, as he touched on, just a few things that if the Giants had got right in the second half, which they did, was going to cause them some grief. But an amazing comeback. When you say 5 goals up until three-quarter time, then 7 in the last. Like a lot of the year, it makes absolutely no sense.
And the Hawks have got the Blues, the Tigers and North Melbourne. So realistically, sure, next week would be an upset. But they could win their final 3, which would give them 14 wins for the season.
But a low percentage compared to other teams, and that could still come back to haunt them. As much as they've lifted it from 64 as it was after 5 weeks. So it does ensure that it's going to go right down to the wire. We knew that already, didn't we?
Just marvel at the will to win. This man does it on a weekly basis. Jesse Hogan's here just continues in this rich vein of form.
Dave Matthews, the CEO there. Montgomery, one of the assistants.
He's played every game this year, Jesse. He didn't do that last year. He missed 1 or 2.
Well, he hasn't done that for a long time, has he? Because he's always had to be managed for one reason or other, and he's got the body right. They've just handled him so well, and he's managed himself well also. But I don't think, Dale, that any of us really thought he was going to get back to fulfil his potential like when he won the Rising Star in his first season at the D's.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he had a good season last year. This one's already been better.
Cool, we'll take a collective breath after that. The Giants, they're happy just to enjoy the moments, the special moments after a 7-goal final term. And he's catapulted them back into the top 4 for now. You got to relive some of those moments. This is what all of that. Why not? The joy of a tight win, a 2-point victory, come from behind for the Giants.
My gosh, what can you say, folks? But holy moly, Toledo. Holy moly, Batman. Can you believe the Giants ended up getting up for victory? 28 points down in that final quarter, their biggest comeback ever. To defeat the Hawks by 2 points, 12-12-84 the Giants to the Hawks, 12-10-82. My gosh, that I never saw coming. The Giants piling on 7 goals won. That accurate kicking came into play. To the Hawks, 2 goals won. All the Hawks needed to do was just get that one more goal. My gosh. I'll tell you what, commiserations to the Hawks supporters out there. I'll tell you what, we thought you had it in the bag all the way, but not to be. We'll have a look at the ladder in just a moment, but I mean, have a look at the worm here. The Giants were in front up until the 9-minute mark of the first quarter, and then it was just all the Hawks. All the Hawks, they gave nothing to the Giants, but the Giants came with a little bit of that tsunami, what I was talking about in the third quarter. They actually showed a little bit of grit and grind and fight in that last quarter. Wowee. Wowee. And at the 29-minute mark and 4 seconds, Tom Green put the goal through and put the Giants in front. Unfortunately, the Hawks couldn't get the chance to get it back down there. They nearly did with a minute to go. Sicily had it, but was well tackled. And then the Giants just kept the ball as holding off to secure the game for them. My gosh. So I said it could be a interstate grand final, especially with the Giants up there, Brisbane up there, Fremantle up there, Sydney up there. Definitely, Mike. Hopefully, Flag Mantle are there. It all depends on them. I think if they can finish top 2, I think they're a big chance, because I really do think they need that home final to put the most pressure on the side that they play. Of course, Freo are playing Essendon now, and it's Essendon 5-4-34, leading Fremantle 5-1, 4-1-25. That's at quarter time. Let's have a look at the stats, however, for this game, and we will see who was the leading disposal getters on the game. And of course, it was Lockie Whitfield who led the day all day in the disposal gets with 37. Fantastic game by him. 24 kicks, 13 handballs, 10 marks, 2 tackles. A great game by Lockie Whitfield. Jai Newcomb, Carl Lamont had great games there for Hawthorn. 30 touches apiece. 11 clearances for Jai Newcomb. That is fantastic. So he certainly did play his part there for the Hawkers today. Tom Green, next best with 25. Brent Daniels, 23 with Lockie Ash. D'Ambrosio for the Hawks, 22. Sicily, 20. They threw Sicily up forward late. Maybe they should have made that move a little bit earlier. Nash with 20. Iden Himmelberg with 20 also. Let's just roll down the board for your players' stats. Oh, I tell you what, I can't get over that game. What a game. I tell you what, we've had some ripping games lately, folks, which ended off last night with Collingwood winning that game by just 2 or 3 points, I think it was. 3, somewhere there, 3 points. Kick after the siren, and of course, the Giants today in that barnstorming finish. The tsunami wave came back to haunt the Hawks in that final quarter. Jack Ginnivan there for the Hawks, 16 possessions. I think, you know what, they certainly could have helped if he could have kicked a goal or 2, brought a little bit of magic and fire to the team. But he could only imagine 2 behinds for him. And that is the rest of the players there for their stats. Let's have a look at the goal scorers. The Giants walking back into the rooms now. I think they're about to sing the song. Let's take you back down and we can give you a listen to the song.
They're right back in this competition once again off the back of 30 minutes of footy.
Emanating from the nation's capital, I think there's a rather big song.
Right, so there's the Freo. There is not the Freo. There is the GWS Giants theme song. I'll tell you what, it's not the best theme song that's out there for the Tees. But anyway, they were victors. They sung it. They sung it with passion. Well done, GWS Giants. Ice, Ice, baby, welcome in. How you going, Icy? How's your Sunday going? How's your Sunday going? Icy, do you know who the top goal scorers was in this match? Well, it was Jesse Hogan. He ended up with a handful of 17 disposals. He had 13 kicks, kicked 5 goals too. He was a gun up there. He was their big target, and he was the one who made the difference there for the Giants today. Jack Gunston with 4, great effort for him, for the Hawks. And Toby Green, he had a really good last quarter there. 17 disposals, 16 kicks. Didn't like to handball it today. 5 clearances. He ended up with 3 goals too. Ambrosia and Chol for the Hawks, 2 each for those fellas. Wordle, Moore, McDonald, Luke Bruce, each with singles for the Hawks. And singles for the Giants were Jones, Tom Green, Daniels, Cadman. There we go. Just for your AFL fantasy points, how they finished off, and Lockie Whitfield led the table there with 137 fantasy points there. Carl Lamont there with 124, Jesse Hogan with 110, Lloyd Meek 109, Newcomb 103, Hardwick 102, and the rest all polled under 100 in the AFL fantasy points. Let's have a look at the team stats at the end of the game here. 348, 344, under the season's average for both, but that's okay. Pretty even in disposals. Kicks, everything was pretty well similar. There was only 18 the difference and 14 the handballs. Inside 50s, of course, 48 to 52, pretty similar on each. No one had the greater advantage there. They both teams, they had their chances. The disposal efficiency, both pretty good. Both smack on 74.1% each. And that is right on their average. Their efficiency inside 50, both teams doing pretty well there. 56 and 50, a touch above their average. Free kicks, 15 to 17. They're all there. The umpires had a good day out there and umpired the game pretty well to what I saw. Stoppages, the Hawks well on top there, 46-28. Clearances, well, pretty much dead even, 36-35. Centre clearances, though, the Hawks dominated there. 16 to 8. They did well there, but the stoppage clearances was the Giants there, 28 to 19. Possessions contested, pretty similar. Uncontested, pretty similar. Turnovers, also pretty similar. As I said, it was a pretty even type of game today, folks, as we saw. Possession time for the match. The Hawks actually had the ball a fair bit more, 46% to 37 for the Giants in the last 10 minutes. 36% for the Hawks, 27% the last 10 minutes of the game. Well, it looked like, I don't know, maybe the Hawks, well, I don't know. I don't know how they get that figure. Sometimes it looks different to the eye. The marks, here we go, the Giants just on top there by about 17 marks inside 50, 15 to 12. Both on average or just above for the Giants. Both had plenty of chances. Contested marks, bit stronger in the air was the Giants. Of course, Jesse Hogan took quite a few of those contested marks. The tackles, 67-54. The Giants brought that in the last quarter when they brought their heat and the wave. Tackles inside 50, 18-40. Both teams above average doing their job there. The bouncers, 11 to 12, both similar, 1%ers. The Giants doing a little bit more there. Let's have a look at the live ladder now. That's where the GWS Giants sat. That was 8th, and they now move up into, well, they're into 4th. That is because the live ladder is Fremantle now winning. Fremantle are now 2 points up in the 8-minute mark of the second quarter against Essendon, so that is why we are seeing Fremantle sitting second at the moment with Addy G with a big smile on his face because they're in second for a moment anyway. There we go, Santa, all good stuff. But the Giants looks like they are set for finals now. They're now 2 games clear 2 games clear. 2 games clear. They are 2 games clear and percentage. So that should be enough to secure them a spot in the top 8 after the home and away season, which there are 3 more rounds after this week's games have finished. So I would say they'll be quite safe. And of course, Fremantle also will be safe if they have victory today. Of course, Essendon down there, actually, who did... Oh, Hawthorn, sorry, Hawthorn. There we go. Hawthorn not winning today. That leaves them still in 9th position, 44, a game out of the 8 with a fair bit of percentage. So that certainly made it hard on themselves for letting that game slip. If the Hawks had won that, they would have been up to 48 and they could have been vying for a spot in the top 4. But now that is going to be a little bit difficult. They'll be just wanting now to concentrate on the next 3 games, try to win each one of them and give themselves the best opportunity to play finals. It's going to be a great run home to the end of the home and away season as we count down to the finals in about 4 weeks' time. We have a look now at the poll. We had the poll out there today. So we had 59 votes in the poll. Who was going to win today's game? And of course, Hawthorn had most of the votes there. They had 57%. GWS Giants had 42%. And of course, we give 1% to, I don't know. The 1% always disappears. I don't know where. Can you believe it? But most of the votes went to Hawthorn. And I tell you what, folks, you were pretty well right up until the last couple of minutes of the game. But the Giants came home and snatched victory from the claws of the Hawks. All right, let's see. Sniper, thanks for coming in. Just checking a little bit of the chat. Good win, GWS. Woo from Chris. I think Chris was going for, I don't know, who are you going for there, Chris? Giants. Paul Wowee says, yeah, I know. He's, well, I suppose Paul will be happy Hawthorn didn't win, but I don't know. We've all got our favourites and our ones not favourites. That's all right. Addy G, he's well, I don't know. Are you smiling? I think you're smiling because you're multi. You collected out at the perfect time, and you definitely would have been pulling your hair out if your multi was still running. Good decision there. Sniper, thanks. Coming in, bro. Ice baby, thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for being in there and listening along in the BG there while you're doing all your things. Yeah, love seeing the Dockers second. Sana all. And the Dockers, just checking the game there now, the Dockers are out to an 8-point lead. That's what they need to do there. They need to keep putting the pressure on the Bombers. And then that is generally one of their weaknesses of the Bombers for sure. So there we go, folks. Another ring-a-ding-ding game. What a close match. Are we going to get the same close match in the other games that are still being played today between Essendon and Fremantle, and the other game, which I will see you at in 20 minutes' time, which will be St Kilda and Brisbane. Going to be a fantastic game also. All right, folks. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. I'll leave this scoreboard up for about another couple of minutes for any latecomers in who want to check the score, the result, and have a look at the worm. As I said, if you have a look at the worm here, the Giants, they were in front for the first 9 minutes of the game, and then they were in front for the last couple of minutes of the game. That's it. That's all it takes, is to be in front on the final siren. But another great game of AFL football here, where the Giants came out victors 12-12-84 to the Hawks 12-10-82 at Manuka Oval in Canberra. There we go. All right, folks, thanks all for coming in. Much appreciated. And we'll see you on the next game. The next game I'll be covering will be St Kilda taking on the Brisbane Lions.